it down and shoot it straight. Fagan and Biegel in the morning on Hot Talk, KOAN.
Good Thursday morning to you, 20th day of November. This time next week, we'll be carving the turkey at the Biegel compound.
That's right.
What Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, KOAN, KVNT.
Are you going to come by the way, Bonnie?
I have plans out in the valley. I will be out in the valley.
Ryan's got plans.
Yes.
You've got plans.
All right.
But thank you for the invitation.
No, that's not acceptable.
I think Dan invited me, but
Yeah, well, I told him I was going to the next day. Then I.
Well, what are your plans? And Brian, what are your plans? I mean, I thought we were a team here.
a team, not family.
I'll actually be out in the valley too. Some friends of mine, Han.
Oh, so you and Bonnie are getting together?
No, not unless she's going to be at Settlers Bay Lodge.
Oh, I love
Oh,
Settlers Bay
no.
Lodge in the summer.
I don't think so.
What's going on out there?
I know the owners pretty well, and
Oh.
they invite me to things like that. I
No.
do their Christmas parties,
Now,
things like that.
who are the owners? 'Cause there's a bunch
Hans
of
and
owners.
Sony Shabalski.
Okay, but they're one of like 8 owners, right?
Nope, they're the only owners.
Oh,
of
they
the
buy-
lodge up at the top of the
Oh,
hill,
I'm thinking of the course.
not the golf course.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Glenn's old friend is one of the owners out there, Norm Rokeberg.
Is he?
Yep.
How about that? Ran against Norm for the state house
That's right.
in the Republican primary in
You
1996.
can't run against the guy who owns a golf course. What were you thinking?
I don't think he owned a golf course back then.
Probably not. Well, now what are you doing?
I'll be going to some friends in Wasilla.
Some real friends, some people who are like,
Yes, like
True
people
friends.
who've known me since I was born.
yeah, not like Glenn and I, just people who are important to you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Very
That's
good
nice.
family friends.
Well, I'm going to be now. I probably should hear the menu first before I officially agree to go. But I'm assuming, we're going to have. It's not going to be like bologna sandwiches.
Well, as long as it's not like quinoa and, I don't know, raw vegetables or something.
What kind of turkey we have? Nice turkey, big
Oh,
turkey.
yeah.
Now here's the question: Do you serve stuffing?
Mm-hmm.
And this
Most
is a big-
important part of the meal, frankly.
It
is
really
stuffing
is.
and the gravy.
It's the only time you ever eat stuffing.
Oh yeah.
And here's the thing, though, Glenn. Now I don't want to insult you, but I'm hoping that the stuffing will be cooked inside the turkey.
My wife's stuffing is a sausage stuffing.
Yeah, no.
I don't think that it's cooked
So can I
inside the
come
turkey.
hang out with you guys in the
You can bring the stuffing.
You don't cook the stuffing in the turkey?
No, the stuffing's my favorite part of the meal. It's a sausage stuffing that she makes. She only makes it basically 1 or 2 times a year. I absolutely love it.
Well, why not cook it in the turkey?
It ends up being very wet when you cook stuffing in a turkey.
It's good. That's moist.
Yeah, but it's
So
too
we're
wet.
gonna
It
get
almost
dried out?
ends up like a breading.
Yeah, but sausage, I don't know. I've never tried sausage in a
Yeah.
turkey.
Anyway,
Brian, would you cook stuffing in a turkey?
The stuffing needs to have a little crunch to it.
So you would not cook it in a turkey?
No.
And I would point out that Brian does not use real butter, so he's not really qualified to.
yeah. If you are going to complain about the food, Dan, then you will be uninvited.
That's right.
Preemptorily.
There's just
I know.
I
he's
really
got
No
a critic.
comments about the food. There's not to be.
Well,
This is
once I
delicious.
get there,
Thank
I'll
you
act
so
like
much.
I enjoy
I
it.
really appreciate it.
Now, once I get there, I'll act like I'm
You
enjoying it.
can't make Mrs. Beagle mad
There are
before you get there.
There are 2 things that are
Too late.
absolutely deal killers for me when it comes to food. If you're going to have a barbecue and you're serving hamburgers and hot dogs, you must heat the buns. I will
Mhm.
never come to your house again if you serve me a hamburger or hot dog on an untoasted bun.
Mhm.
That's the first one. And then typically it's turkey.
Most of the
stuffing.
time, guests don't get all
Yeah.
demanding.
You don't get
now,
invited
by the
anywhere
way,
much, do you?
Well, I
You
don't
are-
have many friends.
you're welcome to bring stuffing, and
a turkey?
I'm sure we would like it.
Yeah, Dan runs right to the fridge. What kind of butter you got?
Butter
No.
check.
Well, and I'll actually miss doing all that because I usually do the whole, stuffing, gravy, turkey, I mean, everything, pies. So it's a little different for me to be invited somewhere else.
And let me just say that the Beagles have passed the first test. When I was over there, and I had a very delicious hamburger, and they did heat the bun for me. So
Of course.
you were spot on in the first one. But
Mhm.
well, maybe this will be a new experience, and maybe it'll be better.
It could be.
This I promise you. If I hate it, I won't say anything.
Okay.
Oh.
I don't think that's a nice way to put it.
But he probably won't have seconds.
So if Dan
Yeah.
Fagan is quiet, you know
The
that
proper
He's
way
not
to say
liking
it
it.
is, I'm sure I'll love it.
that's right.
And then, if you don't like it, you haven't said anything else, but you would say nothing.
When he
Yes.
breaks out a Subway sandwich.
What are you guys eating?
Turkey
I
sandwich
got
here.
turkey too. It's in the Subway sandwich.
Just enjoy the family.
If I go to my car for a foot-long turkey, then you know there's a problem.
I'll be right back.
There's something about hosting Thanksgiving that I really love, and I think it's the control, because you have control over what is there and what people are making and or what people are eating and
Everything that goes on. Well, it's your production.
Yes.
It's like it's a great thing from start to finish,
Yes.
and you're responsible for each and everything that goes on. So
Right.
you're queen. It's queen.
That's right. I'm queen for the day.
Oh yeah.
So, some members of my family are doing something that we've never done for Thanksgiving before. They're going on a cruise.
Nice.
I need to approve of the idea.
Oh.
I like the traditional. Everybody comes over to my mom's house. We all sit around the table and, pretend like we
this
like
must
each other.
indicate some kind of a change in family. Why would they go on a cruise?
I don't know. I'm losing control of
Maybe
my
it's
family.
like a celebrity cruise.
Does your mom not want to cook?
No, my mom loves cooking. It's one of her true pleasures in life.
Yes.
So who
but
overrode her?
It's like a Paula Deen cruise.
Well,
or
I don't
something.
think anybody. Well, she also likes to go on cruises and eat.
Okay.
She enjoys that.
Yes.
No, I don't think anybody was overridden. She decided to go.
Okay.
Well, there comes a time when you've done enough Thanksgivings, Christmases, all that good stuff,
Oh, I love them.
and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna take a year off,
Yeah.
go on a cruise. That sounds good to me.
Let me just say, just so the audience doesn't think I'm a monster. Obviously, I'm thrilled to eat, and I'm really looking forward to having Thanksgiving with your family.
Good.
I really am. And you know how much I love your family, so
It'll be fun.
That was what we call just trying to be funny and comedy.
Yeah.
And it actually was funny.
Yeah, except when
But
you
you
almost
do-
got yourself uninvited.
Well, you do it at the expense of people. Sometimes when you try to be funny, people take me wrong all the time. They think I'm serious when I say ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going to storm out of your house if the stuffing isn't in the turkey.
Yeah, people
But-
are changing the dial, going, he's a jerk.
Oh no, I've had many people think that. I mean, honestly,
It's going to go well. Thanksgiving always does.
And who else going to be? Any other people there? Just me
I
and the
think
30
some of the
kids?
teachers from school are going to be there.
Yeah.
You and the 34 kids and the wife. I
Well,
think
Bill Walker.
her-
You inviting Walker?
It's at the Egan
her
Center,
brother.
right?
It's at the Egan Center. Third floor of the Denina, 1200, seat 1200.
No, it'll be fun, and we'll give a full report.
I would love to have Walker there. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
But
A
no,
Unity dinner.
he's not going to.
Unity dinner.
Now, you went to the Resource Development Council yesterday?
Yep.
All right, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Also, I had it just was so hard to read Dermot Cole's column / article. He goes back and forth from journalist to pundit, and you never know what hat he's wearing. But I'll tell you, this guy, I don't think I've ever read anything that he's written that did not make me cringe.
Mm.
So I want to talk specifically about how easy it is to fool people who hate the oil industry. How easy it is when you're full of hatred for something. It's so easy to get people stirred up, and we'll talk about that and lots of other stuff coming up today. 569-1080, Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, KOAN, KVNT, danfagan.us. We're streaming live video-wise, so you can watch us. What other radio show could you actually watch with a fancy production? danfagan.us. Stay with us. Watch with a fancy production. danfagan.us. Stay with us.
Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080 KOAN.
The highway. It's A and B. But in an all-new 2015 Mercedes-Benz GLA, there is no point B. Because when you're driving a GLA from Mercedes-Benz, you're not concerned with the destination, only the adventure. With off-road transmission mode and a sleek design, this SUV performs with confident style on any terrain. And no matter where your adventure takes you, the all-new GLA's sporty, expressive styling fits in, yet stands out, complementing the many sides of you. See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer today and see the world differently in a GLA 250 4MATIC, starting at $33,300.
MSRP for a 2015 GLA 250 4MATIC excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details.
Mercedes-Benz of Anchorage. The best or nothing.
The
Best Split Firewood can deliver split firewood to your house today. And if you live in Anchorage, delivery is free. Wait, what did I just say? Delivery is free if you live in Anchorage. Wow, that's cool. Okay, back to the commercial. Best Split Firewood. Call now, 727-5928. That's 727-5928 and get 2 bundles of starter sticks with your order. Hold on, 2 bundles of starter sticks and free delivery in Anchorage? That's way cool. Best Split Firewood will deliver mostly all birch split and ready for your fireplace or wood stove, no matter how much you need. A quarter, half, or full cord. They have the best firewood in the city, and they'll even mix in some spruce if you ask for it. And don't worry if you just need a couple of bundles. Best Split Firewood has them wrapped and ready to go at half of what you would pay anywhere else in the city. Best Split Firewood. Call today for free delivery in Anchorage and 2, count them, 2 bundles of starter sticks. 727-5928. That's 727-5928.
Visit their new location at 2000 East 68th Avenue in Anchorage.
Fagan Biegel. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. The Talk of the Valley. KVNT.
.617, November 20th, 2014. We're 1 week away from Thanksgiving. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. We're broadcasting on KOAN, KVNT. Check out our video streaming. It's an amazing thing. There's a national consultant, guy's apparently bigwig in the radio business, and Brian Hoffa really pioneered our video. What we just call it, video streaming. He was blown away by it. He said it's the best he's ever seen. And so you should check it out. Go to danfagan.us and go to the Stream Live tab, and then you'll see the video and the audio options. Hit the video, and you can literally watch us. And not only can you watch us during the show, but during the day. If there's a part of the show you're missing, you want to go back and look at it, or you got to get out of your car and you got to go somewhere, and you want to hear how we finish the segment, and go back and look at it. It's all there. danfagan.us. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday for the very simple reason that it celebrates what I think is the greatest force on the planet, which is gratitude. There's just nothing more powerful than walking around with a grateful heart.
That's true.
And that's the whole purpose of Thanksgiving. And I remember we used to do that. Oh, it would actually, I would cry. We used to, on my old show, where we had a much bigger audience, I would say, tell me what you're grateful for. And we'd take 100 phone calls. And It was so emotional. Mm-hmm. My wife, who just survived from cancer surgery, or my little child who was hit by a car and is now going to be okay. And just incredible. My husband who's fighting in Iraq, and so emotional, so powerful.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
well, if you don't have gratitude, boy, I don't even know how you can live a good life. I honestly don't.
Mm-mm.
Well, even if you're having a bad day, it's always good to think of those things, and it's sure to lift the spirits.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's really comes down to what you focus on, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm always telling my kids that.
Now this will segue into my morning this morning, where I'm throwing things in my house. I don't know why I read the Alaska Dispatch News. I feel like I have to, but it's such poison, Glenn. They focus. Dermot Cole, here's a perfect example. Dermot Cole basically, did you read it, the column on the gas line negotiations?
No.
Okay. Did you, Bonnie?
No.
The basic thing is, look, let me tell you the truth, and then I'll tell you what Dermot Cole said. And stay with me here, folks.
Okay.
The truth of the matter is, when the legislature votes on the final gas line negotiation bill with the producers.
Oh, I did read this piece.
Yeah, everything will be out in the open. There'll be no secrets. But you cannot negotiate with private sector companies as a sovereign, which is what we are as a state, in the open. You just can't do it. There are too many people who, first of all the producers' competitors, that there's going to be proprietary information that's going to have to be revealed during negotiations. The producers can't reveal that. And plus, there's so many people who don't want the pipeline to happen, environmentalist groups, a bunch of others, and every little snippet they can find, they're going to go, you see, the state's giving away the farm. It is, if you say we are going to negotiate everything out in the open, which sounds good in soundbite, you're killing the project. It's dead. Forget it. It's over. So Dermot Cole basically wrote his column/article saying that, well, under Parnell, everything was in secret, but once Walker gets along, we're going to know everything the whole step of the way, every process, and that's a good thing. It kills the line. It's dead. Everything's over.
No, it kills any negotiation.
Right.
Every company has private information, and frankly, every person who works for a company will sign something that says, I am not allowed to reveal any information about my company to anyone else who's outside my company. Well, I am not allowed to do that. And every person who's ever worked for a company signs that deal.
And that was the premise of the article, is that legislators, the Parnell administration wants to present one last briefing to as many legislators who want to know, but they all have to sign a confidentiality agreement. And Walker comes on that with a soundbite saying, "Oh, that won't happen."
This is the secrecy pledge.
Right.
Okay, which sounds so much worse than it actually is.
Exactly. And you look at the comment section. This shows why Parnell's crooked and Bill Walker's right for the state, because these anti-oil people who just hate the industry, this plays right along their narrative. Now, here's my question for both of you. Surely Dermot Cole must know that you cannot negotiate wide open where everybody sees every step of the negotiation. He can't be that unintelligent, can he?
This is a very clever dodge, in my opinion. And the dodge is this. Whenever you mix politics and secrecy together, you know that there's trouble. Everybody knows it. Everybody realizes it. Oh, they're doing stuff in secret. They don't want you to see it. Whenever you mix secrecy and business together, you know that a deal is being made. They're two totally different things. They mean totally different things. We react to them totally differently. Dermot Cole is brilliant.
So he knows.
He knows that if I turn this negotiation where we are going to be a partner in a business deal, where we make contracts and deals and agree that some people's information is private and we can reveal some things and we can't, and I turn it into a political process, I know that I've got these guys.
Well, if he knows that he's killing the pipeline by convincing it's our oil crowd that this all must be done in open, and he knows that would kill the pipeline, are you saying Dermot Cole wants to kill the pipeline?
I think he
wants to kill Parnell's deal.
I think he wants to hurt people who he disagrees with politically, and realize Parnell and the Republicans, whoever signs this deal,
and the oil industry.
I will guarantee you, after whoever signs this deal and comes out, they are going to claim that these people want to negotiate this in private. I will guarantee you that the anti-oil populist people, anybody who is looking for a beef with the oil industry.
Now, because we're all.
But that's my opinion. I don't know. I look at this thing, and he may, he may not realize.
You an impossible question because you don't know what.
Right.
Excuse me, is in his heart, but clearly there's something here that just doesn't make sense. Because he's not a stupid man, Dermot Cole.
Well, it's just killing Sean Parnell's legacy too.
I mean, how many? They ran 17,000 negative stories about him in the last 30 days. What do they want to put this guy on a cross or something? I mean, what?
I don't think Dermot Cole's ever really liked the oil industry. I don't think he's liked the way that they negotiate. I don't think he likes, that they're trying to limit the value of the pipeline or, any number of things.
So he doesn't understand. Like if you were to sit down with Eddie Burke, he'd go, "Oh no, you got to do it all in open." He really believes that.
Yeah,
it's not true, but that's what he believes.
Well, that's what they were saying yesterday on his show too.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah, and they had Bill Walker on, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, well we're going to be transparent.
Yeah.
We're going to do everything out in the open."
So these guys just don't understand how it works.
I guess
they just know people want to hear that.
Yeah, it sounds good.
I don't know, Brian.
It sounds good.
Bill Walker knows it's not true, though, because he's gone down to KOGAS and Mitsubishi and all these other things, and these were not public meetings. He did not sit there and have them videotaped.
Well, they couldn't have been public because he was lying to them.
That's right. Well, that's
he was telling them he had gas.
He had gas,
and he did not.
And he doesn't have gas. Yeah, and I agree, and that's one of the reasons why he will keep them private.
Every time you or I make a really dig at somebody, finally like, ooh, that was kind of mean.
No. I just think I'm just so juvenile.
Why?
sometimes.
Oh my gosh, she's back to
No,
being
don't-
14. I am not even going to bring it up. I'm not even going to bring
Because
it
no
up.
one will ever listen to us if we explain why Bonnie was just
Nope,
joking.
not
So I have
doing
a
it.
I have
theory.
a 14-year-old. Come on.
Brian's got a theory.
Yeah, what if they sabotage the Parnell deal? Then it's not a renegotiation, right?
Well, no, see, that was where I was going to go, Brian.
Oh, sorry.
My personal suspicion is, no, I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, no, it's a good point.
My personal suspicion is that Walker has to figure out a way to kill this deal by doing it his way. And what better way to do that by saying, hey, I'm sorry, I just refuse to deal with these companies in secret. Oh, yeah, we agree with that. Pipeline's dead. Walker looks like a hero. That's my suspicion. Don't know it for sure, but that's my suspicion. And I would also suspect that, not Eddie Burke and these guys, not it's a royal crowd, but the people who are pushing it, the Walker and the Whitakers and these guys, they know that this is going to kill the Parnell deal. They know you can't negotiate in secret and have a deal. I mean, out in the open and again, the thing here, Glenn and Bonnie, is not in secret. Before this thing is approved, we'll see every T dotted and every I dotted and T crossed. We're going to see everything in the whole thing. There's not going to be a single secret withheld from anybody. But let's go through the process of negotiating. I mean, can you imagine if you're negotiating with your boss for your salary and every stage of the negotiation is published to the whole company?
No, you're sitting in there with your boss, and all of the people who you work with are there with you.
Yeah.
Watching.
Yeah.
But
Which
do you
is
see how
crazy.
good it sounds to say
Yes.
secrecy pledge?
For people
yes.
with very small brains, it sounds good. For people who are so angry and bitter and envious toward the oil industry that it fogs their thinking ability, yes.
Yeah, but there's even people who are pro-oil. I mean, yesterday Craig Fleener was sitting here talking to Bill Walker. Not pro-oil.
No, and I know you don't like that, Glenn. I know it's your buddy.
I want her to finish her point. I agree. I know that you don't think
You
Craig Fleener's
cannot
pro-oil.
support Bill Walker.
He just said he is.
You cannot support Bill Walker and be pro-oil. I'm sorry, finish your
No, he was just saying that, he was agreeing with him, and he was saying, yes, I think that's great. I really am looking forward to you being open and transparent, and, it's just a big...
And he won't be, by the way. For those out there who are trying to read the playbook, Bill Walker will not be open and transparent because he cannot be. He cannot, look, if he published a video presentation that he gave and what happened behind the scenes with Kogas and Mitsubishi, then frankly, I would have a lot more trust in him. I would like to see exactly what he told them. I would like to see exactly what he said. And that would be proof, by the way, as to how he's really going to do this. I'll just let everybody know politics is the art in many ways of making everyone think that you're on their side and then doing what you have to do in order to get stuff to work. That's what this is. That's all this is. It's not complicated. And the only thing that's dirty about it is you're claiming you're not going to do exactly what the last guy did. That's what's dirty about it. What's dirty about what Dermot Cole is doing here is he's not going to hold Walker to any standard whatsoever. None. He's going to say, you know what? He was a little more transparent than the last guy, whatever that means to Dermot Cole.
There's one other thing I got on Dermot Cole's message this morning, and I want to talk about that next. Stay with us.
569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
With KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. The woman who was pulled from a burning mobile home on Muldoon Road in East Anchorage Tuesday has now died of her injuries. Firefighters found the woman in the bathroom trapped by the flames in her double-wide, the Glencairn trailer court. Officials Wednesday said she was hospitalized and passed away the next day. A controversial floating strip club on a converted former crab boat in Kodiak say business is booming. There have been no reported complaints of any odor problems. Customers reach the wild Alaskan by water taxi, and only 12 are allowed on board at a time. Finally, ding, 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 we have a winner. Her name is Zenny. An Anchorage woman is celebrating a $42,000 win on the Price is Right TV show. Zenny West wore a shirt that read Anchorage, Alaska, to display her hometown pride during the show. That's your Hot Talk News update. Local weather is next.
Sun and some clouds today with a high 36. Then tonight, patchy clouds, low 25. Partial sunshine tomorrow with a high 33 and a low tomorrow night of 22. Saturday, partly sunny with a high 33. Then on Sunday, clouds and sunshine throughout the day with a high 31. Monday becoming mostly cloudy, high 32. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Alaska Integrated Media, the owner of this station, is looking to fill 3 positions. First, we have an opening for a receptionist traffic assistant. This is a part-time job, but can work into full-time. Pay depends on experience. We're looking for someone with a great personality, someone who likes to greet the public, and has experience with phone systems. We also have an opportunity in our advertising sales department, where you can earn above-average income, work with small business owners and operators to assist them with their advertising needs, and work on promotions. If you have any type of outside or inside sales experience, or you've worked in the hospitality industry, this could be a great position for you. Next, our programming department has a rare opening. We're looking for Alaska's next great talent, with opportunities for part and full-time DJs and on-air personalities. Check out our website, alaskaim.com, or call 522-1018 to apply. Alaska Integrated Media is an equal opportunity employer. Minority applicants are encouraged to apply.
Mrs. Herbeckman is my son Martin. At Alaska Sausage and Seafood, we offer gourmet products to help you celebrate the holidays. We have our delicious whole smoked turkeys for your Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner. Reserve yours today because the supply is limited.
You know, when Dad started Alaska Sausage and Seafood over 50 years ago, he made amazing German potato sausage just for the holidays. And it's become a tradition for Christmas breakfast ever since. And you'll find it in our store again this year. Of course, all of our products are locally made right here at our Anchorage facility. We've maintained high quality and excellent products by sticking to the recipes that Dad used when he started Alaska Sausage and Seafood.
Remember, we also have gift packages made with our wild Alaskan smoked salmon and gourmet sausages with reindeer, ready to ship to your friends, relatives, and business associates all over the country.
Our gift packages come in all sizes and fit every budget. To order in time for Christmas, call us at 562-3636, stop by our retail store, or visit us on the web at alaskasausage.com.
And may you all have a happy holiday season.
Introducing the YMCA. Sure, you know the Y for a swim or a game of hoops, but we're more than that. We're a cause. When you take a jump shot at the Y, someone else is getting job training. Practice yoga as a team practices her leadership skills. We give people of all ages, incomes, and backgrounds a chance to learn, grow, and thrive. So while you might think of the Y as the place for lifting weights, we're also about lifting entire communities. That's the Y.
Local news, weather, and the Dan Fagan Glen Biegel Show on Hot Talk. KOAN. Brought to you by Connect Country Liquor. With 4 convenient locations in the Valley and Talkeetna, you won't find a better selection.
When I grew up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything. From auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Glen Biegel, you have beautiful teeth.
Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years.
I get scared at the dentist.
Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist for Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give him a call, 569-1080. KOAN.
All right, 6:35. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron on KOAN, KVNT. Gosh, doggone, we're so glad you listen to us in the mornings, and we hope you tell your friends and your kids and your grandmas and your aunts and uncles and your neighbors, especially your leftist friends. We're also streaming on danfagan.us. Even if you don't like the show, check us out. What we're doing video-wise with this broadcast, it really is quite impressive what Brian Hoff has come up with and his ability to. I don't think there's a show, and I actually, Brian, I went around looking for radio stations, radio shows that are streamed on the internet, and there are some. I'm not talking about big time shows.
Mostly it's church stuff.
Well, no, but I specifically look for radio shows, and there's this WFAN out of New York City, which is the #1 rated sports show, and they got like 3 guys at the table, but it's all wide shots. You don't get to see anybody's face. I really couldn't find one that I thought was better than what we're doing visually. And of course the sound quality is perfect. So check it out, folks. It's something I think it's kind of something we're pioneering up here in Alaska.
It was a learning process. It took us a while to get it dialed in.
It did.
Still a lot to go.
No, and we're gonna light the studio better. I got some lights I can bring in.
Yeah, we're dealing with like rough conditions to get this done.
Yeah. But so check it out. And of course, we also archive every show on danfagan.us. You just go to the streaming tab and you'll find us. So I read the Dermot Cole column/article this morning. The gist of the deal is, for those who are just joining us, if a state as a sovereign is going to negotiate with 3 private sector companies, the negotiations have to be done in private for a number of reasons. There's proprietary information revealed in the negotiations that would put the private sector companies at a great disadvantage if it was revealed. Then you just can't have the public sitting there nitpicking a negotiation to death. Because once the oil companies demand anything and the state capitulates, what's going to happen? Alice Rogoff and her team of destructionists, they're going to have article after article about it. Why did the state capitulate to that? It would never happen. The pipeline is dead if you don't negotiate. So negotiated secrecy. Now, at the end of the process, everything's revealed. So there's no secrecy before the thing's signed. Every Alaskan will get to see the entire agreement and read every line of it if they want. The governor's meeting with legislators one more time to kind of lay out what he's done so far, but they're asking that the legislators who attend the meeting sign a confidentiality agreement. Because the legislators who do not want the pipeline, who do not like Parnell, who want to kill the deal, they'll go run into Alice Rogoff and they'll rip the negotiations apart up to this point. Now, Dermot Cole basically wrote an article or a column saying that, Bill Walker will fix all that. He'll do everything in public. Bill Walker has said as much. And I'm reading there and I'm going, you fools. And I'm reading all the comments. It's our oil. We need to do everything out in the open. This is why Parnell's evil. This is why Parnell's a shell. And I'm just saying, you fools. It's such an easy deception. And here's my thought, Glenn. Here's my thought. And this is for you and that guy behind that glass there and you. The 4 of us are poised to counter this deception better than anybody in the state right now. We got to get busy. We got to get on this because people are being lied to, and the result of this believing things that aren't true will be great consequences for our state. And look, Alice Rogoff and Tony Hopfinger and Dermot Cole, I wish he were Hermit. These guys at the Alaska Dispatch News, they're going to work hand in hand with Mr. Walker as he fools these It's Our Oil people into a frenzy of hatred for the oil companies. We need to get busy. I know we all are very busy. Brian's got 8 jobs. Glenn's got another job. He works 1,000 hours a week. Bonnie's homeschooling. We got to take this thing on, man. 2014. Is this 2014?
Yes.
2015 is a huge year for us. We got to get in there. We got to get in Rogoff's face. And we got to call her and Walker and all these people in their deceptions. Not in a mean-spirited, nasty way. But just as we did here today, you can't negotiate with the private sector out in the open. And as we reveal the truth, I think most fair-minded people today would probably have read that column and thought, even some fair-minded people, even not the anti-oil small-brain people. I shouldn't say that. Even the anti-It's Our Oil, maybe they've been deceived. They're probably good people anyway, Even those folks who saw that, if they heard the other side of the story, which of course Mr. Dermot Cole did not reveal, I think that they would come to the conclusion that, well, I mean, if it means it's the only way to get the pipeline, then let's go ahead and let them do it in secret until the final deal's done, and then we'll make our decisions then.
Well, and this is why we elect people to do this for us. We don't have time to do all the searching and look at all the information. This is why we have elected representatives. It's so they can spend the time to make these deals and do the investigations and all that stuff. So I don't understand why people think that the public should know everything that goes on. This is why we elect the people. That's their job to go there and figure it out.
Well, as Glenn said, there's this commonly held belief amongst the electorate that everything done by the government should be out in the open, no secrets, no. And there are just some things that the government has to do, especially when it's dealing with the private sector, that have to be done in secret until the product's finished. Then you reveal everything. I don't think anything should be secret that the lawmakers should be able to hide. At the end, once the product is done and they're about ready to vote on it, there should be public hearings. Everybody should say, well, we don't like this, we don't like that. But the process of making the sausage, you just can't have that where the my goodness, can you imagine if Dermot Cole was in on the negotiations? Every day he'd have a different column, how the state capitulated here, the state capitulated there, the state's giving up that.
Well, and it protects the interest of your business partner.
Yeah.
There are partners in
That's right.
Business.
That's right.
Well, it's very confusing for most people, I think. Normally the state of Alaska is not a business partner with people.
Right.
In fact, I would venture to say almost no one understands anything about this. This is just totally new territory. And as such, and this is the difficulty that I have with Dermot Cole, I know he's not going to hold Walker to any standard.
None.
And that's the difficulty. The difficulty here is in the absence of people really understanding what's going on and trying to figure out, well, what does it mean for the state of Alaska to actually be a business partner? How does that work? How would you structure, if you were a private industry, how would you structure a deal with a sovereign state? What does that even mean? And I think most people are basically lost on what is going to be one of the largest agreements, money-wise, that our nation has ever seen. Ever. Not just, gee, it'd be nice if we built this building together, you'll own part of it, we'll own part of it. This is for a $65 billion set of infrastructure and about, I don't know, $1 trillion worth of gas, or $2 trillion worth of gas. This is a big deal. And it's something that our average minds, honestly, can't comprehend. But the difficulty I have here, is this piece reveals nothing about what this actually means. I have a piece, and I'd like to reveal it when my response to his article.
Yeah, we'll get into that next. We got to take a quick break here. Glenn Biegel, Dan Fagan, Bonnie Cameron, broadcasting KOAN, KVNT, streaming live, danfagan.us. Here's the number. Give us a call, 569-1080, 569-1080. 6:44 is the time. Four's the time.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Give him a call, 569-1080, KOAN. Oh, yeah, it's game day. I love football. He could go all the way. He's at the 10, the 5, touchdown. Man, that's why I love football. There's nothing better. Well, except maybe free buffalo wings from Sicily's. Call 333-8000 right now and ask for free buffalo wings. Buy any extra large 2-topping pizza at regular price and get 10 free buffalo wings. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Enjoy hot, fresh pizza and Italian food. Call 333-8000 or order online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Just call Sicily's Pizza. 333-8000.
Hi, my name is Mike Ferris, president of Alaska Enterprise Solutions. We are the face of Xerox in Alaska. Xerox is a trendsetter, and AES Xerox is following in those footsteps. We are the document management experts, specializing in short-term rentals of copiers and scanners. We have offices in Anchorage and Fairbanks, and we are your Xerox professional agency with an Alaska focus and worldwide support. You can reach us at aesalaska.com or 561-5100.
If you're ready for the movies, there's just one place to go. Check out moviesacre.com. It's showtime, movie times, previews, and more. Get tickets, friends, stop. Lots of information to explore. Great restaurants. Now you'll know just where to go before and after every show. Check out moviesacre.com. It's showtime.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080KOAN.com.
All right, welcome back. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. It's a little annoying that Dermot Cole column in the Alaska Dispatch News this morning. Dermot Cole basically saying that Parnell negotiated in secret to get the pipeline deal, and that's a bad thing. Bill Walker will do it all in the open. Dermot Cole must know that you cannot negotiate with three oil companies in the private sector in the open. They would have to reveal proprietary information. And you just don't do it that way. It's not the way it's done anywhere. He must know that. I don't know if he does. Glenn, your thoughts on this whole issue?
Well, the problem I had, and I really did take it as a story and not an opinion piece. I wasn't sure.
Well, he took that approach. You can tell when he's journalist.
Okay.
And you can tell. But the thing is, it was never like that.
Yeah.
In the newspaper business, you had the editorial section, which had a huge wall up from the reporters. Well, the Dispatch, they've just totally dismantled that wall.
It's kind of a new day.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I say this story would have been more helpful if it said what type of information was being held as confidential.
Very good.
Right? Production costs, intended investment costs. I have no idea. That's basically what I wrote in my thing. It's just that, the purpose of this article is to provide you an emotional response,
yes,
but not provide you any information.
Yes.
Because in the absence of telling us, well, this is what the oil companies say that they can't reveal in the process. Now, in addition to the process.
Yeah.
But usually there's real specific kinds of information that they cannot reveal in the public because they're shareholders. That's their responsibilities to them, and they would not be treating their shareholders fairly if they released it.
And if they do decide to start negotiating everything on the open, the pipeline's dead. And certainly Mr. Cole must know that.
The question is, does Mr. Walker know that? I think he does.
Of course.
He's not going to give us a video of his KOGAS and his Mitsubishi meetings with the heads of those corporations.
When he went overseas in the Pacific Rim to sell the gas he never had.
About a year ago, he goes overseas, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. He's done it many times. Yeah. And frankly, he says, look, everything ought to be out in the open. And my call to him is, I'm not trying to be cute here. I know that people think that. I want Mr. Walker to succeed. I really want him to get a pipeline, whether it's his way or whatever way. He will have to get it a totally different way if he goes for 51%, by the way. I explained that yesterday. Hopefully that's clear to people. But I do want him to get a gas line.
Right.
But I want him to be held to the same
to the mustard here. Wally Hickle said on my show a number of times, the biggest mistake the state of Alaska ever did was not own the Trans-Alaska Pipeline. That's this gas line that he's been fighting his entire life for. He wants the state to be in full control.
Question.
Yes.
How could the state of Alaska come up with the money to build the Trans-Alaska Pipeline?
What he says is we will have the customers pay for it, which, of course, what the Parnell administration says, if you're going to have the customers in the Pacific Rim take all the risk, then they're going to want rock-bottom prices.
Of course.
And that means Alaska's going to lose out on billions.
Dan, I got a question for you.
Yes.
If the customers build the line, why would they allow the state of Alaska to control the line?
The rock-bottom prices.
No, they are going to control the line. If they put
Because
up
they're taking the
$65
risk.
billion,
Yeah.
they will own the line. The state of Alaska still won't own the line. I don't know what people are talking about here. And this is where what we want is so much more important than how we get there and what we can have.
Well,
to people.
what about the idea that, the customers are going to get these ridiculously low prices?
No, I think that that's very possible. There's no possibility that we will build a line because we don't have $65 billion.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want people to be clear on that. We will not own this line.
But let's stay on track here.
If the customers do build the line, they will own the line, not us.
Right. Well, yeah, I suppose that's semantics. They're going to be locked into these long-term contracts.
They're not going to lock themselves into long-term contracts if the state of Alaska could blow up the deal thereafter.
Well, no, the way that it would work, as I understand, Mr. Walker explains it, is that the customers would lock in these long-term contracts.
Like 30 and 40 years, I think.
Forever, yeah. And then of course, what he doesn't tell you is that they would just get ridiculously cheap gas.
Sure.
And that would mean that the gas that's in the ground will lose, I don't know what percentage of its value, but it'll be considerable. But at least Alaska will own the pipeline. And it seems like that's the obsession.
If Alaska owns the pipeline, then Alaska can turn off the line, and Alaska can tell people who can come into the line.
Well, but we will be
and Alaska controls. My point is,
well, hold on.
Even in his scenario, even the scenario that you just brought up,
yeah,
Alaska still won't own the line because they will have financed it, and these contracts will say Alaska can't do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Alaska can't. Alaska can. Alaska can't. Alaska won't own this line.
Well, what do you think it is that they will want Alaska not to be able to do?
They won't be able to shut off the gas. They won't be able to renegotiate with the oil companies.
You don't have to go through all that. Yeah. So, but the producer, we will be in contract with these buyers to produce gas for them. So we have to. Yes, we can't shut off the line.
Okay, there you go. That's my only point is there's ownership means very specific things to specific people.
Right.
Right. And it will mean and whatever the average anti-oil person thinks ownership means, it won't mean that to KOGAS and it won't mean that to Mitsubishi.
Yeah, that's why I said
we do not have the right of disposal.
Disposal of what?
The ownership in Rydell's parlance is the right to dispose of something as you wish.
Okay.
I could sell it.
Okay.
I could turn it off.
No, you're right.
I could destroy it.
But we're going to be locked in.
I could remove it
because of the contract.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're not. These contracts, I think, are going to be in perpetuity. It's not like they're going to sign a contract for 30 or 40. If they put up $65 billion, they're going to want rock bottom prices forever.
Right. And here's the thing, Glenn.
And they're going to want a return on their investment.
And this is what Mr. Walker also won't tell you. If the price of gas quadruples, we're locked into these prices. And all those billions and billions of dollars that the state and the producers would have made will go down the drain. Their hatred for the producers is so strong, they are willing to sacrifice billions and billions of dollars in state coffers just as so the producers don't make any money. It's literally a kamikaze approach.
Yeah.
I hate the producers so bad. I'm willing to sacrifice tens of billions of dollars on the state as long as the producers don't make money.
Yeah. Yeah, and I got a question for you. You always bring up they hate the producers so bad. I've always thought that they hate the producers' profits.
Yes.
Is that the same thing?
You know, Bill, my understanding of Bill Walker and Wally Hickle, same people. They've wanted so badly to build this gas line their way, and their number one obstacle has been the producers. Same with Marty Rutherford. Marty Rutherford.
They think that's true, or is that true? Because
no, it is true. That building the line their way, where the producers aren't involved.
Oh, well, first of all, we couldn't have built the line
I
before.
understand that. No, I'm not arguing that.
All right. I was confused.
And then you got like someone like Marty Rutherford,
yeah,
who literally spent most of her career fighting the producers over tariff and regulations of the pipeline. I mean, literally, she has fought.
That's been her job.
And it's also been someone else's job. This is why he's an anti-oil populist, Mr. Joe Miller. Part of what he's done in life is fought the producers.
He's renegotiated. He has. I wouldn't call that fighting the producers. He's worked on behalf of the state to renegotiate the value of the line.
Right.
I don't call that. Look, I want the value of the line to be accurately, and I know that the producers are going to argue for a low value, and we're going to hire for a high value. And Joe Miller did fine in representing that for the state.
But it's given him this anti-oil bent.
I don't know. I thought he's moved away. I don't think he's bought into the Walker level, but he did sign on to Palin. So I mean, there's way too much information here to say that he's very positive with the oil industry.
Here's a question.
I mean, is that fair, Bonnie?
Well, I don't know. I'm back here on. I'm thinking about Glenn's points about Alaska owning the pipeline, because I'm sitting here kind of as a listener, thinking. He's got so many good points, and you're not going to hear it from people like Dermot Cole, and it's important to get that out there and have people see the other side, because you're not going to get it from the Dispatch.
Right.
So, I mean, you can talk about Joe Miller, but really this is what we're... I mean, you talked about...
I got off focus with Joe Miller. I'm sorry.
Well,
I just love to rub Joe Miller in
I know, and I kind of tune out, but because I'm not gonna go there. But
a lot of truth going on here. I
man.
like this. I like the truth.
Good. It's a good family moment.
No, it's just good to hear that side, and I think what Glenn was saying was really important to go back to, because the public's not going to hear that from the other side.
Here's the difficulty for people. People oftentimes do not have the strength to listen to somebody who disagrees with them.
Yeah.
And
like
so,
Bonnie.
No, I'm not talking about Bonnie. Most of the people who want these negotiations to, quote, be in public, they will not have the strength to really examine that requirement that they have for Parnell, and to know that they cannot hold Walker to the same strict requirements, and that they're not going to, and they're being totally unfair.
Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, KOAN, KVNT. Check out our video streaming on danfagan.us. danfagan.us. Our number 569-1080. 569-1080. Time 6:58. 9-1080. Time 6:58.
You know, Alaska is truly the land of fabulous seafood.
AM 1080 and retranslated on 95.1 FM on K236CG, Anchorage.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony.
Don't even seem like this is America anymore.
That New Jersey woman does not support President Obama taking executive action on immigration reform, but she does.
It's about fairness, equality for all.
Now to Fox News Radio's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, President Obama will unveil his immigration plan tonight, prompting incoming Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to issue an open-ended threat.
Congress will act. We're considering a variety of options.
One of those options is reportedly blocking the executive order in the next spending bill. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi says the president is within his rights.
You can't say to a president, don't be an executive, no more than anybody can say to the Congress,
don't legislate. The order could shield 5 million illegal immigrants from deportation. Dave.
Rachel, gay couples can get married in South Carolina. Some already did yesterday, but now the U.S. Supreme Court's refused the state's attempt to block their way down the aisle as couples also line up today to get marriage licenses in Montana. A Florida state student remains in critical condition, shot after midnight in the campus library by gunmen. Police then killed. 2 others also shot are in much better shape. Classes, though, are canceled today. A Senate hearing's probing an airbag recall. U.S. regulators want expanded. Fox News Radio's Steve Taylor live in D.C.
Kim Kopf of Phoenix lost her sister Charlene in a crash 11 years ago.
The airbag is what killed my sister.
Some airbags made by Japan's Takata Corporation explode when deployed, spraying shrapnel at drivers. The company proposes to replace units used in warm, humid states. But Congressman Ed Markey says
NHTSA must end their use once and for all.
NHTSA is the federal agency that regulates auto recalls. A Senate committee is questioning an official from that agency, 2 car makers, and the airbag maker. Dave.
Steve, previously on home sales rose to the fastest pace this year in October. On Wall Street, the Dow's down 4, the Nasdaq's up 18. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
You've been thinking about switching to solar. Don't wait much longer or you'll miss out on this year's federal tax credit. Move quickly because the tide is turning. Solar power is becoming a threat to big energy profits. In fact, some power companies are even pushing for extra fees to make up for lost revenue. Warning, you must have your solar system up and running by midnight December 31st or you'll miss out on this year's federal tax credit. Energy prices are expected to increase by as much as 40% in the near future. Go solar now with no down payment, interest, or payments for a whole year. You can afford it because we finance. Get your government money and save big every month. Big Energy is getting nervous and the door of opportunity is about to slam shut. Paying $150 a month or more on energy bills? Then call 1-800-MY-SOLAR now for a free in-home assessment. 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
My home, my savings, 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
December 13th, 2014 is a very special day for a number of reasons. It's the last consecutive date that we will experience in our lifetimes. 12, 13, 14. And it's very special because Connect Country Liquor is having a customer appreciation all because of you. To honor you and this very special date, we will individually give away 12 bottles of Crown Royal, 13 bottles of premium wine, and 14 cases of beer. Just enter to win. We will draw for these prizes on December 13th and make many of our loyal customers very happy winners. Shop and enter to win at any or all of our locally owned and operated tax-free locations. Mile 49 Parks Highway, Mile 4.5 Connect Goose Bay Road, Palmer Wasilla Highway at Four Corners, and Cubby's Market, Mile 98.5 Parks Highway. We think you're pretty special every day, not just 12, 13, 14. No particular purchase necessary.
Keeping the valley in good spirits, yeah. Connect Country Liquor, oh yeah. KKL.
Trail Boss Solutions is an Alaskan-owned, nationally recognized top 500 construction and remodel firm. From our handyman services to our award-winning kitchen design and remodel, Trail Boss Solutions is fully licensed, bonded, and insured, and has the experienced professionals to take your project from initial design through completion on time and on budget. Please visit us on the web at trailboss-solutions.com or contact Trail Boss Solutions Direct at 646-1403.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything. From auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Do you remember that Beatles song? If the rain comes, they'll run and hide their heads. You know which one I'm talking about. Well, if that's you and you're inside your home or office, it's time to call Earhart Roofing. Call Earhart Roofing for all your roofing needs. Flat or pitched, large or small, Earhart Roofing will do the job quickly, and they'll do it right. Earhart Roofing, big enough to serve you and still small enough to care. Call 345-5555. That's 345-5555.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
All right, here we are, 7:06 in the morning on the Dan Fagan Glen Biegel Show with Bonnie Cameron, featuring Bonnie Cameron.
Nice.
We're on KOAN, KVNT. Also, we stream video-wise, danfagan.us. Check us out. You can actually watch us on the internet, the show. And, yeah, that's what 569-1080 is the number, the telephone number to reach the broadcast and be a part of the broadcast, 569-1080. A week from today, Thanksgiving. How about that?
Looking good. Very excited about it.
Winter's moving along pretty good for me. I don't know about how you guys are.
I think it's the weather.
Oh, that must be it.
I'm loving the weather.
Yeah, it's really...
I mean, it was raining yesterday. That was like Northwest Washington winter.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It has not been cold, has it?
No.
It's very slippery out there, and they're not sanding the roads, and I don't really understand why. So if the mayor is tuned in here...
It's because they're finally sanding the hillside.
Oh,
They're doing a really good job of it this year.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they're up there,
I was
by
on Elmore,
5 o'clock.
And there's no
didn't-
sand there, 8-hole.
By Flat Top, they were doing a good job.
Yeah, I saw them heading south on New Seward training.
Okay.
Currently 39 degrees.
Wow.
Dangerous. It's amazing.
Isn't that amazing? 39 degrees in December.
Although,
November.
I am ready to, get out and do some cross-country skiing and...
You do that, huh?
Downhill skiing, sure.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. It's a good family activity. It's free once you get the skis.
39 degrees in
For now.
Anchorage, 25 in Chicago, 25 in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Is Snowzilla still going on back there?
I think Buffalo in that area,
Oh,
the Northeast.
my gosh, they've gotten like 6 feet of snow or
Yeah,
something.
6 feet. Can you imagine?
Oh.
64 in New Orleans.
Oh, hey, great news down there about Landrew.
Oh, she's done, yeah.
Gonzo.
It's not great that the pipeline, the XL pipeline was of course rejected by the Democrats in the Senate. Begich voted for it. We were wrong. We should have elected Begich.
Oh, we should have elected him. I read his
tongue.
piece today. I tried so hard not to
By the way, that was
respond to his
sarcasm.
piece.
So what's that?
I tried so hard not to respond to Mark Begich's piece. He did a little puff piece, and he did it the right way, where he didn't go after his opponent, and he didn't go after the other side politically.
So what did he say?
He just said how great all the things he'd done. He spent all this money, and
they're
we all
people's
worked
money.
together, and so on and so forth. But then he got into said he cut the deficit 70%. Now this is the very lie which I pointed out to him as a lie on this program.
Oh my God.
And I said, look, I tried to. I didn't want to respond to this piece, but I did.
Well,
and I go in and say, the very first bill you guys passed was an $829 billion stimulus, which had nothing to do with George Bush. You tripled the deficit in one piece of legislation, and here you are claiming that you cut George Bush's deficit. It's just not true.
Well, I know the deficit has been shrinking because taxes have been going through the roof, and because the economy has recovered. But the bottom line is, I don't really care much about the deficit. I care about the debt, which went from $10 trillion to $17 trillion under Begich.
Yeah.
That's $7 trillion.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? He's bragging about cutting when we've spent $7 additional trillion under him. I mean, that's what I'm talking about from the left. They just don't care about the truth, Glenn. They just honestly don't care.
You have to start thinking for yourself, people.
Yes.
You've got to start thinking, maybe there's another side to this. You hear all the good talking points and how everything sounds good. You have to look at the other side and say, there's got to be one.
Here's a thought, Bonnie, and that's a great point. If the Alice Rogoffs and the Tony Hopfingers of the Alaska Dispatch News and the Mark Begiches and the Matt Claymans and the Les Gares of the world are right, all 4 of us sitting in this studio this morning are evil.
Mm.
That's their message. We're evil. We only care about rich people. We only care about rich corporate executives. We hate gay people. We hate anyone who has any kind of additional pigmentation in their skin. We hate Muslims. Because their message is so outrageous. If it's true, every conservative you know is an evil person.
Mm-hmm.
That's why to me, let's start at the basic premise of what they believe, which is that conservatives are evil. We're selfish. We don't care about anybody but ourselves. I'll never forget sitting in a meeting with Matt Zensi, and it was one of these think tank meetings. They grabbed a bunch of different people with different political persuasions, and we were talking about taxes, and he was saying we need to have more of an income tax, and we need to have people pay more taxes in Alaska. And I said, well, that's not what I'm hearing from my listeners. And Zensi not Zensi, it was Larry Persley. Larry Persley looked at me and said, well, your listeners are all selfish. They're conservatives. But he meant that because that's what he sees conservatives as. It's all about, I got mine, I'm good, hell with the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Such a terrible narrative.
Mm-hmm.
I think environmentalists, by the way, are the most selfish people. I built my house. I don't really want you to build yours. I'm a lawyer. I make pretty good money. I'm not really interested in your job. To me, they're the most selfish people that I've ever met.
I have my fishing lodge in Western Alaska. I don't want anybody else to have jobs.
That's right. Yeah. And so I point this out regularly that, it's the lack of their interest in the young and the poor, environmentalists specifically, I think is going to be the downfall of the left because people really get that message and they're getting it strongly now.
569-1080, Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie on KOAN, KVNT, 569-1080. Todd, you're on.
Hey, good morning.
Morning, Todd.
Morning.
There seems to be quite a backup starting at about north Birchwood exit. So if anyone's coming in from the valley, have fun.
Do the roads seem slick to you?
No, I don't. Roads are pretty dry, so I don't get it.
What do you think? You don't know. Maybe there's an accident coming up.
I'm looking at a long line of cars all the way to North Eagle River exit where I'm at.
You talking about bumper to bumper or just slow moving?
I'm talking about 5 miles an hour right now.
Wow. Well, we'll get you for a few extra minutes this morning then.
I didn't, and that's not why I called, of course. But what I've noticed this week and listening to all your shows as much as I can is a common theme, and I call it Gruber, Uber, and Goober. So what I'm hearing is that, and I think Gruber is exactly correct. The vast majority of the voting population, especially on the Democratic side, is ignorant. I didn't say stupid, I said ignorant.
Yes.
There's a difference between stupid and ignorant. Ignorant is lacking information.
Yes.
Stupid is having the information and making wrong decisions.
Yes.
And so I think, and with Uber, I didn't understand what you were saying because you seem to want to place the blame on the politicians and the business people who just want to try to get an advantage, and the blame really rests on the voter to understand information. And you could say the same thing about this.
Hey Todd, hold on. I know you're not going anywhere. You're only going 5 miles an hour, so we're gonna keep you. We'll keep you through the break. 569-1080. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. Stay with us. Which one? Oh, and that did it, huh? Oh, so it was the computer that it was closed. Sorry about that, folks.
Online at 1080KOAN.com.
Oh, yeah, it's game day. I love football. He could go all the way. He's at the 10, the 5, touchdown! Man, that's why I love football. There's nothing better. Well, except maybe free buffalo wings from Sicily's. Call 333-8000 right now and ask for free buffalo wings. Buy any extra large 2-topping pizza at regular price and get 10 free buffalo wings. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Enjoy hot, fresh pizza and Italian food. Call 333-8000 or order online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Just call Sicily's Pizza. 333-8000.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Eddie Trunk inviting you to download the Eddie Trunk podcast at Pod.
Music, carolers, and more. Celebrate with Santa as he leads his team of reindeer into Town Square to light the tree on this magical evening. You can be a part of the magic, and we'll have a chance to meet Santa. Take a photo and tell him what you have on your Christmas list. Holiday tree lighting ceremony is also downtown's kickoff event for Small Business Saturday, a nationwide event that brings awareness to shop at small businesses on November 29th. Grab Shop Small totes with coupons and specials from participating businesses for Shop Small Saturday at the Holiday Tree Lighting Ceremony. You don't want to miss this year's AT&T Holiday Tree.
Weatherholt. Each week, David gives you the inside scoop on the latest business news and trends, along with tools for keeping your business on track. Getting Down to Business with David Weatherholt. Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. on Hot Talk, KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 a.m.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give him a call, 569-1080. KOAN.
$7:17 in the morning. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. We're on KOAN, KVNT. Our number 569-1080. We're streaming video, audio and video, on danfagan.us. Go check it out. It's pretty impressive. We were talking to Todd, who's driving in. He's coming in from the valley. He says he's going about 5 miles an hour because it's a big traffic jam. Where are you? Just south of Eagle River, you say?
I'm just north of the North Eagle River exit.
Oh, okay. How's it moving? A little bit still slow?
Moving is not the word I would use right now.
Wow.
You seriously at a standstill?
There are some people stuck on the Eagle River Hill, I bet. So it's probably a backup of 4 or 5 miles.
Yeah.
The roads were very slick here.
Yeah.
In Anchorage.
Yeah, they're actually pretty dry, so I don't get it. But
yeah.
Anyway, what I was saying is that there really is a lack of information among a vast majority of the population. And today you said we need to get busy. Well, as a high school teacher, I have a captive audience, and all they have to do is pretend like they're paying attention, and most of them are. And when you have people who are paying attention to information, they actually will learn, and they want to learn.
Yes.
But what you have to understand is the people who are listening to you right now already are information seekers. So how do you? What I've been thinking about is how do you make or have a captive audience?
Well, let me answer that, because we talked about that during the break, and I've discovered a little secret here. If I take a clip of the show, make it concise, let's say 2 minutes, and I usually have to edit it down. I don't edit it to change the meaning, but it gives you a good, concise message in 2 minutes. And then I spend $200-300, and I advertise. I put it on my website, and I advertise it on Facebook and Google AdWords. 20,000 people will see it. Now, here's the deal. Most of those people are not the people who listen to our show. Because the reason I know that is because of the comments I get. Dan Fagan, you fat piece of trash. Oil can Dan. All you care about is your friends in the oil industry. So, to me, 2015, for the Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron show, yeah, we're growing our audience here in the morning, and we're going to be a force to be reckoned with here. But I really believe we're gonna utilize danfagan.us, Facebook, Google AdWords. And we're going to reach people. No, they won't be captive, but they're going to hear things that they would have never heard before, because most of them would never dream of turning on a talk radio station.
Right. So this is exactly what I've been thinking about the last 2 weeks, but I have been thinking it has to be even shorter.
Like 2 minutes?
Right, and it has to be in an ad that can't be skipped.
No. Yeah, no, it's basically just a little video clip. And, you know, when I put them on YouTube, it'll show me when I lose people.
Mm-hmm.
And if I put on a 5-minute video, most won't make it to the 5 minutes. If I put a 2-minute video on, 80% will make it to the end.
Okay, because that's interesting, and that's information I didn't have. And what I was thinking about is, what if I posted like just simple economic truths in 30 minutes? But I don't have the money to do that.
No.
But there are organizations, and I'm sure David Boyle's listening.
Sure.
Like the Alaska Policy Forum and places like that might be able to come up with some money where you could have short spots of truth that people couldn't, and I really mean and true, that people couldn't skip it. But if you have information that, people hang on for a certain amount of time, then maybe it wouldn't have to be skipped. But I think it'd be longer. I
think most people will sit through 2 minutes of compelling, dialogue. And we'll cut out all the ums and ahs and I mean, literally, when I put a clip together, it'll be pretty compelling. And a lot of times, what I find to be the most effective is when there's a heated debate. Like that Dan Kendall clip. I don't know, did you hear Dan Kendall when he was on there?
Yeah.
And I edited that down to 2 minutes, and it was very compelling. And we got a ton of people who saw that. So, it takes a lot of work. You got to edit it down. And Brian, our producer, has given us such great product to work with visually. Have you ever watched the online streaming?
Every once in a while I turn it on. What I would really like is archived podcast.
Well, we have that.
You do?
Yeah, every day. The entire show is podcast. Every show, every day.
Huh.
You go to.
I guess I'll have to look a little deeper.
Where you go to see the actual show streamed, that page automatically archives them fairly shortly after the show. And you can go back and watch any show you want. Most shows.
No, I mean just the audio, because I have a restriction on the amount of data I can download.
No, that we don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can turn your quality down to like 144p, which is a setting. Mm-hmm. And then that probably won't use.
We probably should work on Brian.
Data.
That would be relatively easy to get an audio podcast, huh?
We could probably figure something out.
Yeah, maybe that's something we should.
I've had actually several people ask me about that too.
That they wanted that instead of
right
video?
Because of the data issue.
Interesting. But we'll get on that then. We'll have an audio podcast.
And can I say something really quick back to his Gruber comment?
Sure.
Because I've been thinking about that a lot too. And
by the way, you don't have to ask to talk.
Oh.
You're part of the show as much as anybody.
You forgot to raise your hand.
I know. Sorry.
Just go ahead and speak up.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna say it then. But I have been thinking about it too, and call it stupid or ignorant or whatever. But the people that he was speaking to specifically are either the low information voters who really are ignorant and they want to stay that way. Because I have a lot of friends who do not want to get involved in what they call politics, which is really just everyday life. And also then the stupid people who are happily stupid and they want to remain that way. And
I'm going to go with Todd's word. Not stupid, ignorant.
Yeah, but he's saying there's a difference. Right, Todd?
Well, yeah, there is. And I also hope that no one wants to be ignorant. I understand what you're saying. There is such a thing as rational ignorance. People don't want to invest the time and the energy to learn things. So I understand that concept.
Well, it's kind of like when, and I don't, you guys might not get this, but when you are pregnant and it's almost like the more you know, the worse it gets. Sometimes you want to be ignorant of things that are going to happen in labor, delivery, whatever. That's my word picture for the day. But Dan's going, oh no, don't go there.
All right.
But well, in your example, the information is painful because you're
Yes.
preparing for the pain that
Yes.
you're going to suffer. I'm suggesting that information actually reduces pain, and if people knew that,
yes,
Well-
that they would want that information.
And I want to suggest that there are people out there who love having the government make all the decisions for them, and they want to remain ignorant and just let the government have as much control as possible. And these are the Obama followers.
I agree, but I don't think that percentage is as big as the percentage of current ignorant people.
Let me run this by you, Todd.
Yeah.
I have found in dealing with humankind, which I try to do as sparingly as possible, that most people are so married to their ideas and beliefs that to try to turn them and to change their viewpoint and perspective is very difficult. And it's just not the easy, because we become what we believe, right?
Yeah. Yep. So that's why it has to be constant, it has to be unavoidable, and it has to be repetitious. And that's how the media has changed our culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Through movies and videos, and it's constant, it's continuous.
Never ending.
It's never ending, and it's repetitious, and it just becomes learned as truth, and most of it's myth.
Well, the obvious answer is when we get a Republican president in 2 years and we control the Congress, let's start having a conservative indoctrination camps. Mandatory. We lock people up. They go in there for 6 months. We have Ted Cruz tell them how to.
No, they go in there for 6.5 hours a day, and a bus will come pick you up to their conservative indoctrination camp. Wait a minute, this sounds very
so
familiar.
kind of like public school.
Oh, that's it. Oh,
and
man.
you get free lunches.
Now, there's one wrench that I'd throw into this about people not wanting to remain ignorant. The left spends an enormous amount of money convincing people, decent people, do not get involved in politics.
Yes.
Yes.
Do not listen to this. These other people are evil. Don't think about it. Just think evil. And if you can do that, then you'll be much better off. So they try and reduce it to absurdity and stupidity, frankly, is what's going on. And I think a lot of people, I don't think many people want to remain ignorant. I think that a lot of people, as Bonnie said, do think learning about politics is a painful process. I'm just going to run across a whole bunch of liars and a whole bunch of people who don't mean anything and a whole bunch of people that all it's going to do is just bring misery to my life, so I'm staying out of it. And I think the left has expended an enormous amount of effort and money to try and convince people politics is about dirty stuff. You don't want to be involved.
Yep.
Yeah, but if you teach, I think if you teach truths that help people in their lives and not necessarily focus on politics, their politics will change because they start to understand how economic truths and truths of human behavior, will affect their lives in a positive way.
But when you're teaching and you get the high schoolers, by the time they get to your classroom, are they already so indoctrinated as to just believe that the government is there to help them and do everything for them and make decisions for them? Do you have to undo that a little bit?
High school students are just like their parents.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what I'm saying is that they have beliefs based on what their parents' beliefs are.
But I know, Todd, that you must have undone some of that, and you've been persuasive, not to change their political aspiration or viewpoint, but you've exposed them to truths that they've not heard elsewhere. Fair?
Well, apparently I had a Twitter conversation happening between my students that was trending about minimum wage and why it was a bad thing to vote for.
Oh,
wow.
Great.
That's awesome.
So I guess I am having an impact. But,
that's great.
Yeah.
One student
anyway,
at a time. Thank you,
have
Todd.
a good morning, guys.
See ya. Bye.
I don't think it's ever too late because one tiny bit of truth or one tiny bit of experience can completely change a person's life. It can change your understanding of the way that the world works. It can change.
Have you ever met a liberal that used to be a conservative?
A liberal?
I haven't. I met
Arianna Huffington.
Yeah, but she was never. She was an Andrew Huffington.
Yeah, I didn't know her before.
I've met hundreds of conservatives who used to be liberals.
I think that's true.
Yep,
that's very true.
Power truth. 729.
And now, the Fox News Business Report, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Anchorage. The best or nothing.
From the Fox Business Network, stocks are mostly higher following some positive economic news. U.S. existing home sales rose in October to the fastest pace this year, and manufacturing in the Philadelphia region grew at the fastest clip in nearly 21 years. At around 11 a.m. Eastern, the Dow Industrials are down 1 point. Executives from Takata, Honda, and Chrysler are testifying before a Senate panel that's investigating defective airbags that have been linked to 5 deaths. The Takata senior vice president has apologized and says his company is building 300,000 replacement inflators a month. The defective inflators can explode in a crash, injuring the driver and passenger. Takata has resisted calls from U.S. safety regulators to expand a regional airbag recall. And shares of Keurig Green Mountain are sharply lower after the coffee company forecasted disappointing first quarter profit. The maker of single-serve coffee packs is facing increased competition from other coffee pod makers and rising coffee prices. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jolene Kent.
Attention men, are you urinating often, waking at night to urinate? We want to send you a free bottle of Super Beta Prostate, made with a natural ingredient that supports healthy urine flow, bladder emptying, and is shown to reduce waking at night from the urge to urinate. You can try Super Beta Prostate free. Only pay shipping and handling. This free giveaway is available while supplies last. For details, call 800-467-0930. 800-467-0930. 800-467-0930.
With KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. Sad details emerging about the apparent suicide of former Iditarod competitor Dario Martinez. Reports were malnourished dogs were removed from a kennel he owned in Girdwood a day before he was found hanging from a tree. Friends are puzzled about why someone who's known for his love of dogs would allow them to go hungry, why he did not reach out. Many people would have helped. Cost associated with the state's defense of its gay marriage ban already into 6 figures. And Kenda reports.
New figures indicate that Alaska has already spent $103,000 defending itself in a lawsuit that successfully overturned the state ban on same-sex marriage. The number could grow if the plaintiffs win a request for $259,000 to cover their legal bills. Many analysts say the state is unlikely to win its appeal. Meanwhile, gay couples are already getting married in Alaska.
That's your Hot Talk News update. Local weather is next.
Sun and some clouds today with a high 36. Then tonight, patchy clouds, low 25. Partial sunshine tomorrow with a high 33 and a low tomorrow night of 22. Saturday, partly sunny with a high 33. Then on Sunday, clouds and sunshine throughout the day with a high 31. Monday becoming mostly cloudy, high 32. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Hey, make a note to yourself. You need to go over to Bell's Nursery and Gifts on Specking Road right after work today because it's Bell's evening shopping spree from 5 to 7 p.m. only Thursday after work. Of course, there are lots of great gift ideas. And talk about saving money. From 5 to 7 p.m., everything in Bell's big, beautiful gift shop is 20% off everything. And that includes gift cards. Yes, it means you can buy a $100 gift certificate for only $80. So you're guaranteed to save money. And with all the amazing things Bell's carries in their beautiful gift shops, a Bell's gift certificate is a great way to be sure the people on your list will get exactly what they want. And everything you buy at that time is 20% off. Free drinks and hors d'oeuvres, too, plus free prize drawings every 15 minutes. So be sure to get there on time. It's 2 hours only from 5 to 7 p.m. And the earlier you get there, the more chances you have to win. And it's happening today, 5 to 7 p.m. Bell's Nursery and Gifts on Specking Road. You know, a beautiful Christmas begins at Bell's.
Local news, weather, and the Dan Fagan Glen Biegel Show on Hot Talk. KOAN. Brought to you by Connect Country Liquor. With 4 convenient locations in the Valley and Talkeetna, you won't find a better selection.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything. From auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Here's
Here's my good friend, Keith Montronock.
Automotive repairs can be frustrating. Let me help. Call 349-1637. I have been in business for nearly 20 years at the same location. Specialty Truck and Auto is in South Anchorage behind the Long Branch Saloon where Diamond becomes Abbott. I have 6 ASE certified technicians working from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. I have a voucher for any of the 6 Alaska Laser Wash locations for each customer. If you schedule ahead and need a ride when you drop your vehicle off, I may be able to help. Call Specialty Truck and Auto, 349-1637.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080KOAN.com.
7:35 on a Thursday morning. Welcome to the Dan Fagan Glen Biegel Bonnie Cameron Show on KOAN, KVNT. Also streaming live on danfagan.us, video streaming live, and audio, whichever you prefer. Country Financial has 13 locations in Alaska, 5 in the Valley, 5 in Anchorage. If you sit down with a country representative, you're going to be amazed at how much they know about getting to a successful retirement. Financial planning is no easy science. It takes a lot of study, takes a lot of wisdom. There are always things that are changing in the financial planning industry. And Mike Daniels, who heads up Country Financial here in Alaska, and his team of country representatives are up on the very latest. How can you possibly stay up on all this stuff when you have a family and you have your job and all that goes into your life? Sit down with a country financial representative. 10 minutes in, you're going to go, wow, this was a good decision. Here's the number, 866-COUNTRY, 866-COUNTRY. Country is spelled
COUNTRY.
What was that? What was that all about? Are you losing the...
normal.
What happened?
No, normally it's COUNTRY.
Yeah, there's some joy there.
There was something
What happened?
wrong. Something. Are you having a bad day? Or?
I'm cold.
Yeah, all right. She's a little cold.
569-1080. Listen,
Chilly.
the commute into Anchorage this morning is a mess. If you're listening to us on the Sword Highway, or not the Sword Highway, the what is that? Parks?
Glen
Highway. There you go.
You should know
one
this,
of,
Glenn.
one of the 3 highways in Alaska.
No, that
Not
Glen
the Bonnie
Highway has
Highway.
2 N's in its name, and I do not claim it.
If you are driving in, we'd like to hear from you. Give us a status of where you are and how well the traffic's moving. 569-1080, 569-1080, anywhere from the Valley on into Anchorage. Call us up and let us know what it's like where you are. 569-1080, 569-1080. So, Glenn, you attended the Resource Development Council meetings yesterday. They have a 2-day event, correct?
Yep.
What was your take on what you heard?
There's some great news coming out of it from Native organizations. They are 100% understanding that environmentalists are not on their side. In fact, the ones who I heard speak know that they are the enemy, that they have to be stopped. Environmentalists are the enemy, that environmentalists have to be stopped, that they can't be trusted, that they've been abusing their privileges inside villages.
Are these heads of Native corporations?
Heads of Native corporations, the one down on the end of the Aleutian chain, the one on the North Slope Borough. And I thought that was pretty revelatory that there is a great understanding, that they want development. Like the guy at the end of the Aleutian chain, he wants the northern passage opened right away, and he wants ships to be able to come in and go through there. And he talked about how great it would be, how much quicker it is to get products through the Northwest Passage.
Now, does that translate into the Native community, though?
I think so. I mean, I think these guys are pretty good representatives, at least of their corporations.
So you think that if you were to poll Native Alaskans who live in rural Alaska regarding mining?
No, regarding environmentalists. Environmentalists. That's what I said. I didn't say anything about mining.
Okay.
Environmentalists, they understand, are dangerous. So there were two revelations, 2 good revelations. There were a number of somewhat negative ones as well. But the 2 good ones were, environmentalists are not our friend, and we need development in rural Alaska, and we need it right now. Well, so those were 2 huge ahas.
But if the environmentalists' sole objective is to shut down resource development, do you think the Native community out in rural Alaska wants resource development?
Yes.
You do?
No, those are the 2 good things. Listen,
I understand the
good things.
folks in the
environmentalists bad, resource development good.
No,
Those are the two messages.
I understand that the folks in the native corporations, who stand to financially benefit significantly. Frankly, all of the natives do.
Yes,
I don't think they see it. I don't think my experience in dealing with Alaska natives in rural Alaska is most of them do not embrace resource development.
Well, they certainly weren't present there.
Well, no, you're going to always get the native corporation heads, like Ethan Schott over at Siri and his brother over at I forget who he's with. And no, you'll find a lot of Alaska natives who work for native corporations whose job it is to get in the middle of the resource development and promote it. Certainly, they're going to be in favor of it, and they're going to attend these conferences. But I think if you were to do a poll of all of the Alaska natives in rural Alaska, and you were to ask them about Pebble or Donlin or offshore drilling, I think most of them would probably not say that they were in favor of it. That's been my experience.
Yeah, well, this is the change that I saw from this year to previous years, is that they did not come out specifically against environmental organizations.
They being
Alaska Native
corporation
chiefs,
heads.
corporations, whatever. And this is what they've realized, I think, over the last year, by the way. Environmental organizations don't care about natives.
Right. This is the Alaska Native corporation heads.
What they've realized, in my view, is environmental organizations don't care about subsistence. They don't care about what you're going through. And this is kind of what they led people through. Environmentalists don't live in Alaska. They don't live in the Arctic. They're not coming up here. They're not trying to save it. They're really just shutting it down. And so I think if you brought up all of the things that they would take negatively and then ask them questions about that, I think they would respond negatively. I think that if you took here is a town in northern Canada where they said, no, we're not going to allow you to subsist. We're not going to allow you to kill off polar bears or whatever it was, seals, walrus, because, and you can't eat, by the way, for those towns, because we think these are endangered even though they're overrunning your town. So I think that if you took the negative things, they would react negatively. I think if you took the positive things, they would react. They would react positively to resource development and negatively against environmental organizations. I think if you ask them a fair question, do you think environmental regulations are good for your village? I think that largely they would say no.
So you think that most people in northern or western Alaska are upset with the EPA for shutting down Pebble prematurely?
No, I think that on that case, they see that Pebble is a threat to fish. They're convinced of that.
They don't see it as like a job maker. They see it as a fish killer.
Yeah.
No, they don't see it as a fish killer. They see it as a cultural killer. That their way of life. It's what does the Bristol Bay Native Corporation say in its ad?
A place that
has always been.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're afraid that their culture will be decimated if industry comes in. That rural Alaska will not be the rural Alaska that has always been.
When I would say that their culture is being decimated because there's no work. I mean, right?
But their culture has really never had what the traditional white man would characterize as work. The last 500 years in rural Alaska, nobody got in their car and drove to the job.
No, but now the government's taking over and providing everything for them. And so that hasn't been the last 500 years.
No, that's very true.
I mean,
that's just been the last 40 years.
Right.
Yeah. And that has caused great destruction and harm, escalated sexual assault and drinking. And socialism has really been much more destructive.
But you think they're starting to equate these businesses coming in and wanting to work the land as job makers, and maybe they're starting to see that.
Well, I have not heard the strong objection and rejection of environmentalism as a threat to their way of life, too, and the big support. I mean, there's always been sort of a tacit approval of an industry, but in this case, I really think they seem to be turned around. There's a number of negative things I saw, too. You want to talk about that?
7:44 is the time. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, KOAN, KVNT. Our number 569-1080. 569-1080. KOAN, KVNT. Our number 569-1080. 569-1080.
Don't just sit there. Give them a call. 569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
If you for the movies, there's just one place to go. Check out movies8.com. It's showtime, movie times, previews, and more. Get tickets, win stuff, lots of information to explore. Great restaurants. Now you'll know just where to go. Before and after every show. Check out movies8.com. It's showtime.
This is Herb Ekman with my son Martin. At Alaska Sausage and Seafood, we offer gourmet products to help you celebrate the holidays. We have our delicious whole smoked turkeys for your Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner. Reserve yours today because the supply is limited.
You know, when Dad started Alaska Sausage and Seafood over 50 years ago, he made amazing German potato sausage just for the holidays. And it's become a tradition for Christmas breakfast ever since. And you'll find it in our store again this year. Of course, all of our products are locally made right here at our Anchorage facility. We've maintained high quality and excellent products by sticking to the recipes that Dad used when he started Alaska Sausage and Seafood.
Remember, we also have gift packages made with our wild Alaskan smoked salmon and gourmet sausages with reindeer, ready to ship to your friends, relatives, and business associates all over the country.
Our gift packages come in all sizes and fit every budget. To order in time for Christmas, call us at 562-3636, stop by our retail store, or visit us on the web at alaskasausage.com.
And may you all have a happy holiday season.
Is your IT department burdened with first-line support calls about printer jams and broken printers? Are individual departments purchasing expensive printer cartridges that get buried in office supply budgets? Is your printer support strategy really a printer replacement plan? Let Alaska Enterprise Solutions show you how to reduce those high print costs. AES is a Xerox professional agency in Alaska with Xerox's worldwide support behind them. You can reach us at aesalaska.com or 561-5100.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
All right, 747, Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron on KOAN, KVNT, streaming live audio and video, danfagan.us. Our number, 569-1080, 569-1080.
42 years of experience in the roofing business. It's unbelievable. Earhart Roofing, the reports that I get about them they're fantastic. They're really stellar, and that's the way that you get to be the Better Business Bureau Business of the Year. It's not just handed out. You have to have everybody who you do business with essentially gives you a rating, a report card. If they like what you've done, you get a good rating. Don't like it? Better Business Bureau Business of the Year is across all businesses in all of Alaska. And for 2010, they were the Better Business Bureau Business of the Year. If you have a chance to involve them in your contracting, in your estimating process, it's just a phone call away, 345-5555. A free re-roofing estimate will get you to the best in the business. When you think roofing, think Earhart, E-A-R-H-A-R-T.
Our number, 569-1080. 569-1080. That's the number if you'd like to be a part of the broadcast. 569-1080. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Well, this is interesting, Mr. Obama, with his, he's really angering the unions because they killed the Keystone Pipeline, which is about 10,000 jobs. The unions aren't happy about that at all. One union leader actually came out and said the president's lost his way. Now we're getting word that Obama's amnesty will add as many foreign workers as new jobs since 2009. So here we got unemployment already bad. It's like 50% for people 18 to 25. And he's going to throw in all these new people into our society. And, of course, they won't have any jobs, so we'll just have to support him. He's doing it illegally. And I'll tell you, I don't know what to say about it.
Well, what you can say about it is the left has never cared about our borders. They've never understood that America's a special place. In order to come here, you have to believe in it. You can't come here to take.
But even his own party, Glenn, is mad at him. No, we've never seen the likes of Barack Obama.
I just read that only 50% of Americans oppose this action.
Well, only 35% approve of it.
Okay.
So about 15% is
undecided. See, my point is,
well,
it's too close.
Well, but that's a perfect mix of the country.
Yeah.
35% hard leftist.
Wow.
15% low information voter, 50% conservative. That's the nation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's quite frightening. This is what I'm not there. I have no idea what Republicans can do, what their options are.
Well, I like Ted Cruz's idea of not letting through any of Obama's appointees. Yeah,
Well, that's good.
and saying no to that.
Well, we should
At
do
least
that
it's
anyway.
some kind of an action, right?
We should do that anyway. I mean, they're all going to be
But
communists.
this gives why Cruz has been so essential is he realizes that we should do that anyway. What he's looking for is an opportunity to explain it to everyone why we should do it anyway, because these are the kinds of people that Mark Begich has been approving of.
Mm-hmm.
The kinds of people that Barack Obama agree with this crazy policy of his, agree with writing out the congressional right to approve laws and legislation to govern our country. The president doesn't have executive power to do whatever he wants, even though it seems like he does. So Cruz is brilliant in that he understands that you take opportunities to make your point when they're given to you by the other side, and that's what he's doing. And I like that approach.
Right.
By the way, Glenn, that 50% figure you quoted, I can promise you 2 years from now it'll be 70%.
Yes, I think you're right, because people are going to learn that, when liberals make their decisions, we have to live under what it is that they decide that is going to happen here. Bad things happen, and we don't have to like what happens.
The low information voter
will get the message.
will get the message.
That's right.
569-1080. 569-1080. John, you're on with Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie.
Good morning, gang.
Morning.
Just had a quick question for you.
Okay.
Do you think this country has reached the proverbial tipping point, as they use as whatever that phrase means?
I would like to hear Bonnie's answer to that.
Yes.
Gosh,
It's
so
unsustainable. I know it's discouraging, but to me that should get people wanting to make a change.
That we're done.
No, not done. We're just
Bonnie, specifically, the tipping point is when the majority of voters realize that they can vote themselves largesse from the public treasury, that they don't care about the next generation, they don't care about the majority. In other words, it really is literally too late. It's not about convincing people this, that, or the other thing. It is simply too late. We're too far gone, and the tipping point has been reached. Now, that is what the tipping point means. That's why he wanted your answer.
Well, and do you realize
that's what I was referring to?
Yes.
And
do you realize that if China were to call in the debts, we would be really hurting?
So the answer is yes, the country's gone.
No, we're at the tipping point
No.
where we need to go back the other
explanation?
way. But we need to go back the other way.
Okay, but the tipping point means you can't. It's too late.
Oh.
Well, that's my question. Is it too late? I mean, have we reached that point of no return? We've gone beyond, the gas tank is more than half empty.
Who says there's a tipping point, really? I mean,
Well,
can't you always go back?
That's what
that's what the tipping point is.
When
when
it's
too late.
We flew to Shimya once with some military guys, and you have two chances to land. If you can't land, you have to go back because there's not enough gas to land 3 times. That's how far out Shimya is for a C-130. So first time we couldn't land, second time barely made it. If we didn't make it, we were going to have to go all the way back because there's not enough gas to get you back if you can't land. So that's a tipping point. Is it over?
So what's the consensus?
Well, I was still waiting to
I
get
guess
an answer
I
from
would
Bonnie.
say that the tipping point would be if there is something economically that happens that, I mean...
Okay, so the question is...
Let me explain. Let me give my view for what the tipping point would be, and I think Bonnie will agree with this. When Democrats can come out, as Barack Obama is doing, and still get a majority of voters and tell the truth about what they want, tell the truth about that we're going to steal this right away from you, we're going to take this money away from you, we're going to redistribute your wealth, we're going to tell you what you can do, we're going to tell you what you can't have. When Democrats can come out and not lie, as the president constantly did, if you want to keep your health care plan, you can. When he can come out and say, I'm taking your health care plan from you because, frankly, you're an idiot and I can do whatever I want. I'm smarter than you are, and Washington, D.C. smarter than your state. Now, when Barack Obama can do that, then we're at the tipping point. Right now, Democrats still have to lie.
Right, but let's
Is that fair? Do you think that that's true?
No, hold on. We first have to explain to Bonnie what tipping point means. Tipping point means we're done as a nation. There's no going back.
No, I don't think there's ever going to be that point.
Ever.
No.
Okay.
We can.
I admire Bonnie's eternal optimism,
Yeah.
but
Hey.
I just I listen to the general public. I listen to my employees,
Yeah.
Customers, and a lot of, in my opinion, a lot of folks are just content to be on the dole. And
But here's the question, John: do they represent the majority of Americans?
well, I don't know. I guess that's the information I'm looking for.
When you have, I don't know about you, but I know quite a few people who are doing what you call prepping, and you're preparing for some kind of economic disaster because you know that it's not sustainable as it is now. And so when you have quite a few people doing that, I would say that there's going to be a point where people know that there might not be any, they need to prep for their own families, and that there might be I guess you'd call it a tipping point, but I think we'll always come back from it.
I'm one of, and I agree that we do have the tenacity in this country to do that, and I am one of those prepping people, not like you see on TV. I'm not real
No,
crazy.
they make them sound silly, though.
But, why do you think that it's a big thing? Costco now, Sam's Club, all of these places have prep,
What do you do to prep?
What do I do to prep?
Yeah.
I've got, dehydrated foods. I've got water tanks in my house.
Ammo?
Guns and ammo, of course. And, all the things that should have, medical equipment.
And what do you have all this because you think what might happen?
Could be a myriad of things. It could be a myriad of things.
Like, give me an example of one that you think
well,
might happen.
Bonnie said economic breakdown,
Collapse, yeah.
Social breakdown. Look at what's going on in the Ferguson area.
Right.
And then, as you guys mentioned the other day, well, not you, it was actually another talk show, Todd Schnitt guy. They've got all over the country. There's organized. They're ready to launch, and if this Ferguson decision does not indict this police officer,
right?
And if he did a bad thing, but stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm old enough that I'm from Pittsburgh, and they had what they called race riots back then.
Yeah.
And came to town, and there was fortunately the street I lived on was blocked at both ends.
Right.
And candidly, we were the only white family on the block.
Yeah.
And we all got along great. I mean,
sure.
It was a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
But I would agree that things get serious when people start getting serious about that. Normal people start getting serious about protecting their families. I think that they're, you could call that a tipping point.
Yeah, I guess you could.
Thank you, John.
Hey, thank you, Dan. I appreciate all of you every morning. I love listening to all of you.
We're glad you do. Thanks so much, John.
You're welcome.
I think this is what's got John down. What's got John down is he's meeting a whole bunch of just average, everyday people for whom he doesn't see average, everyday, normal American values of self-reliance and wanting to rise
We'll
as
continue
being
with
their
that.
value system.
Fagan Biegel Bonnie.
Fabulous seafood and
Man, that's why I love football. There's nothing better. Well, except maybe free buffalo wings from Sicily's. Call 333-8000 right now and ask for free buffalo wings. Buy any extra large 2-topping pizza at regular price and get 10 free buffalo wings. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Enjoy hot, fresh pizza and Italian food. Call 333-8000 or order online at sicilyspizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Just call Sicily's Pizza. 333-8000.
92.5 FM and 1020 AM. The Talk of the Valley, KZNT. Eagle River, Big Lake. A service of Alaska Integrated Media.
This is the Blaze Radio News. I'm Kay Long. President Obama rolling out a major executive order on immigration reform. Speaking on the Senate floor, soon-to-be Majority Leader Mitch McConnell saying the executive order isn't about reforming immigration.
The action the president is proposing isn't about solutions. It isn't about compassion. It seems to be about what a political party thinks would make for good politics.
But White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest saying if the Republicans would just move on the issue, the president would crumple up his order.
There's a piece of legislation that passed in bipartisan fashion by the United States Senate. It's supported by the business community, the law enforcement community, the evangelical community. John Boehner can allow that piece of legislation to come up for a vote. If it passes the House, the president will crumple up the executive actions that he's taking tonight, and he will sign that bill into law, because that bill would be good for the country. It'd be good for our economy. It'd be good for border security. The president would support it.
Earnest in an interview with Martha McCallum on Fox News. This is news on the Blaze Radio Network.
It's the hard truth. In today's world, negative experiences quickly find a way to go online. One disgruntled customer, a bad employee, or broken personal relationship can easily post an ill-advised photo, tweet, rumor, story, bad review, and there it is right on page 1 when you search your name or business online. In the past, you had no way to fight back. Well, now you can. Grab a pen and take down this phone number or store it in your cell phone, but call 1-800-460-5733. That's 1-800-460-5733. When you call, you'll get free info that'll show you how a reputation management company can easily build positive online content for you and legally bury negative information. This is not something you can do on your own. Don't lose any more business or miss out on another personal or business opportunity because of what is wrongfully being said about you online. Take control of your internet search results. Call 1-800-460-5733. That's 1-800-460-5733. Hurry, don't delay. Call 1-800-460-5733 today.
Florida State University after a gunman wounds 3 people in an overnight shooting on campus. The shooter killed after the attack at the school's main library. At least one officer opening fire on the gunman after he refuses to drop his weapon. A grand jury decision could come any day in the Michael Brown case in Ferguson, Missouri. The Blaze Radio's Tom Peace with the latest.
Brown family attorney Benjamin Crump says the family is waiting to hear the grand jury decision.
We only know that they have got to the end of their work, and we should be hearing something pretty soon, and they're going to inform the family out of respect before they inform the public.
Crump on Fox is the O'Reilly factor. He says the family wants justice for their son. The grand jury hearing evidence in the case, preparing to meet Friday for what might be its final session, and a decision on whether to charge Officer Darren Wilson in the shooting of Michael Brown could come the same day, according to law enforcement. I'm Tom Peace, The Blaze News.
More problems for comedian Bill Cosby. The Blaze Radio's Mike Craig.
The proverbial ton of bricks keep falling on Bill Cosby's head amid a rush of recent rape allegations for incidents ranging from the 1960s to 1980s. The Peacock Network is the latest to jump off the Cosby bandwagon. Its former home for the 80s popular Cosby Show, NBC is dropping plans for a Cosby sitcom pilot in 2015. This follows Netflix canceling a Cosby concert. The Denver Post reports at least 14
Alaska Center for Families and
year-old iconic comedian of rape. I'm Mike Craig, The Blaze News.
Forecasters predicting a possible accumulation of 8 feet of snow in some parts of New York. This as a winter blast of lake-effect snow just keeps falling. Emergency responders concerned about what happens to all that snow when the temperatures warm up over the weekend. Flooding could be a major problem. Director Mike Nichols dying at age 83. Nichols bringing his talents to film, TV, and stage with hits like The Graduate. Nichols married to TV journalist Diane Sawyer. I'm Kay Long with news on the Blaze Radio Network.
Hi, this is Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company. Sellers, if you are going to sell your home, now may very well be the best time. The current interest rates are still very low in comparison to previous loan rates. Now is the time to take advantage of this uncommon phenomenon. We will look back at this period as a golden opportunity to buy or sell. Homeowners planning to sell should call us at 244-0821. We will be happy to come out and do a comparative market analysis at your convenience. Call Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company. 244-0821. That's 244-0821.
Well, howdy, I'm Nick Worthington, Ford Giant, Worthington Ford.
Home of over 1,000 vehicles, and we're 4x4 headquarters.
And folks, we've got hundreds of beautiful new Fords on the lot with giant factory rebates and some huge dealer discounts.
And lots of great used vehicles, too, all certified, all under warranty. Take a look.
Here's a Ford Escape, just $10,900. Here's a Chevy Equinox, just $14,900.
Here's a Subaru Legacy GT for just $15,900. And a Subaru Impreza, also $15,900.
It's Ford 4x4 headquarters, Worthington Ford, with hundreds of vehicles to choose from, and you can make no payments until next year.
Plus, get a big bonus for your trade-in. We need your trade-in, so push, pull, or drag it in, and you'll get top dollar.
Hurry on into Giant Worthington Ford.
1950 Gamble. 2012 Equinox, Q2420. 08 Escape, 137184B. 2013 Impreza, Q1767. 09 Legacy, 1440838. Certified by Worthington Ford. Unapproved credit, subject to prior sale. See dealer for details. Ends 11/20/2014.
If you're ready for the movies, there's just one place to go. Check out movies8.com. It's showtime. Movie times, previews, and more. Get tickets, win stuff. Lots of information to explore. Great restaurants. Now you'll know just where to go. Before and after every show. Check out movies8.com. It's showtime.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning on the Talk of the Valley, KVNT
91080 KOAN.
6 minutes past 8 o'clock. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, Rachia on KOAN. That's how the brothers said it back home. Rachia.
Yeah, I did get another quick report on the roads there, Dan.
Yeah, tell me.
Tom Anderson actually called. He's out on the roads this morning and wanted to report that the roads are much better, much drier from the valley to Anchorage already. So things are looking up, but still be careful out there.
Well, and so often when it's backed up like that, it'll be from one little tiny accident, and you'll be in a line for 30 minutes, and you'll finally come to where the stopping point was, and you're like, what, is that all?
That's because it was 30 minutes earlier. Now, here's my question to all of you. When I cross the scene of an accident, I explicitly prevent myself from looking at it at all, not even a glance.
Yeah.
Now, you do that too.
I do.
You're a good person. Dan.
I come to a complete stop, put it in park, get out of my car, go over and look firsthand, maybe light up a cigar,
take a couple pictures.
What kind of people
It
are
takes
you?
a lot of self-discipline
It does.
not to look at it,
Rubberneck.
not to rubberneck.
I'm
Yes.
so proud of you.
I'm
Well,
like,
you can look without slowing down.
No, you can't. You always slow down.
don't
People
even
always
take your,
do it.
you don't even peripheral.
Well,
No.
here, Brian, here's my question. What do you expect to see?
Hopefully blood.
Is that really what you want to see? Because my
Maybe-
guess
maybe
is
a-
people
Well, 'cause
don't
I-
want to see.
A headless body or something?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't
But
want to
mean, you
see
could-
somebody sitting there holding their wrist, doing nothing.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you people?
But
You
I do
don't
tell my
rubberneck?
kids, give me a full report on everything you see.
Oh, no,
Oh,
that's
so you have
very
your
wise.
kids look at the headless body.
Well, Mom, there's a headless body and somebody holding their wrist.
Well, now if I
Anything
see
else?
like sheets over bodies and stuff, I'll say turn away, but no. For the
Yeah,
most
there's
part.
a red and white sheet over the body, Mom.
This is why I hate Glen Biegel so much.
What now? What have I done?
Oh, no.
That does not surprise me that you don't rubberneck, because you always do the right thing. You have no flaws. You never make a mistake. You never, I bet you've never littered.
And then he voluntarily paid the $1,000
I was trying to think. Actually, what I do is I usually will pick up litter.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
That's
I put
disgusting.
carts away when
You are
I
a
get to Walmart.
disgusting human
I
being.
do that too.
All right, high five, virtual high five. See, there you go. That's right. That's my buddy over
See,
there.
you know what he's doing? He's thinking through the consequences of his actions. If he looks over, will he cause an accident and rear end somebody?
I do not want people to be, because I'm so mad. And every other person who's in that line is mad just like me. And you know what I say to myself? When I get up there, I don't want to see what went on. I don't want to see a headless body. I don't want to see what the problem was. I don't want to see how I crashed in the car. I've been in plenty of accidents myself, and I don't like them. But I'm not going to do what is making every single person in line mad by doing exactly the thing which is going to cause more people to be
I
mad.
don't get mad at the rubberneckers.
They're the
It's
ones
a
who make
part
it
of
go
life.
so slow.
Thank you for explaining that to me. I thought it was the high pressure system. or
I just
something.
didn't know if you understood that point.
I think it's normal. It's an uncharacteristic. It's an out of normal event. Of course, you're supposed to look at it.
You're part of the problem.
There's no problem if I get to work a minute and 12 seconds late because I rubbernecked and everybody else rubbernecked. That's not really a problem.
Now, you and I are, by the way, are similar on something else, which is somewhat unnatural. So I think apparently Jennifer Lawrence has had some very untoward,
Who's Jennifer Lawrence?
From Hunger Games.
unladylike. She's one of the
star of
she's
Hunger
one of the most
Games.
popular people. She was voted one of the most beautiful people on the planet. I'm not surprised you don't know who she is. Back to my point. Anyway, apparently there are some. Have you heard about these, Brian? The pictures on the internet.
Yep. They took them out of the
I
cloud.
specifically don't go look at those because honestly, yes, she did some things which adults do behind closed doors, which honestly you don't want photographs taken of. But
She took a shower.
To me, it's just not. It's not really appropriate
How dare her.
to go out and subject yourself and frankly her to viewing all that.
So
stuff.
you think she would know that you looked?
No,
That would bother her?
She has asked people specifically, look, these are private things. Right. I mean, this is a complete invasion of privacy, and
That's why I hate the cloud.
Yeah,
It's
really
evil.
is. So much of our
would
lives
not
are.
go because she asked you to.
No, I don't think people should go. But you and I agree on this that this is really an invasion of a person who.
No, I think
has
people should go around taking pictures of naked people and put them on the internet.
It was
Well, of
more
course.
than that.
I think she took them herself.
No way! It had to be her boyfriend, is what I heard.
Oh, okay.
It was that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see them.
I thought only people who were married were allowed to see each other naked.
And we're not talking about that. It's something a little more.
How can you see a woman naked if you're not married to her? I didn't think it worked that way.
Yeah,
Well, and I
you
think
have
that's
to
why
get
she's
married,
so
and as soon as you kiss someone,
embarrassed.
you have to marry them too.
Because they're pregnant.
I know.
Man, we are learning so much here.
If I had kids, I'd tell them that.
I know. I hope my
Kiss a
daughter's
girl.
listening.
That's right.
3 weeks later, you're gonna have a baby.
Yeah. Well, I went and saw Romeo and Juliet with my daughter, and
Oh, dear.
she had to kiss the boy about 10 times.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh,
Me
She
and the
was in
mom
the-
were sitting next to each other, just kind of cringing.
She was in the play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still,
Was she Juliet?
she was Juliet.
Wow, she must be talented having the lead.
She's very talented.
Yeah,
Yep.
good for you, man.
No. That's true though, Glenn. I mean, the whole Jennifer Lawrence thing, I think that's why she was so embarrassed, because she has been kind of an example for girls.
Yeah.
And that's why she was not happy that these things got out.
It's so awful.
Do
And
not
these
trust
are,
the
These are
cloud.
private matters, honestly.
I know Miley's like giving you money to look.
Yeah, that is the biggest disappointment,
Oh, my
because my
gosh.
kids really, my little girl especially watched Hannah Montana and really looked up to Miley Cyrus, and now she's gotten worse than anybody.
Yeah. How high you fly, it just is an indication of how far you'll fall, unless you have a really strong foundation. And most of these people, when they get that much money and people around them,
Especially that
say-
young.
Yes.
I mean, you see what happens to most child actors. They either end up on drugs or I
Yeah.
mean, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And I just think that's, if you're 11 years old and you're on a sitcom, everywhere you go, people are like, oh, that's just tough to handle at that age.
That's why I'm worried about Sadie Robertson. I don't know if you guys keep up with her from Duck Dynasty, but she's on Dancing with the Stars, and I don't have TV, so I only get to watch clips.
Well, Bristol Palin was on there, and she
Right.
turned out fine.
Well, so yeah. Anyway.
She's got a bit of a flowery language, as I recall, from the last incident, the fight.
Oh, yes. But Sadie
is that right?
Robertson
Was it
is
her that
very
was-
grounded right now.
Oh, it
Yes,
was.
it was her.
Okay, yeah. Especially in front
You're
of
just
police
trying to-
officers.
Yeah, I don't
man.
think Sadie will go down that road.
No, I hope
Oh, you
not. But
don't?
see, that's
good.
my hope.
If you have a strong foundation, you can. But I can tell you, it's got to be really strong.
I mean, at
because-
17, yeah, she's still got a few years to go till she maybe
All right.
matures a bit. Hopefully, she'll stay grounded.
569-1080, 569-1080. That's a number here in the studio. Give us a call. We're on KOAN, KVNT, Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. It's a Thursday afternoon, 1 week away from turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce. You have cranberry sauce at your dinner?
Probably, but it would probably be canned.
Well, that's fine. I don't think anyone's ever served anything but canned cranberry sauce. Is there another way to get it?
I've never
You can make
eaten
it.
so
No,
that's not my thing.
Yeah. 814, stay with us.
Never
You can make
eaten.
it.
No,
That's not my thing.
Yeah. 814, stay with us.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Give him a call, 569-1080, KOAN. Oh yeah, it's game day. I love football. He could go all the way. He's at the 10, the 5, touchdown! Man, that's why I love football. There's nothing better. Well, except maybe free buffalo wings from Sicily's. Call 333-8000 right now and ask for free buffalo wings. Buy any extra large 2-topping pizza at regular price and get 10 free buffalo wings. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Enjoy hot, fresh pizza and Italian food. Call 333-8000 or order online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Just call Sicily's Pizza. 333-8000.
Hi, this is Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company. Sellers, if you are going to sell your home, now may very well be the best time. The current interest rates are still very low in comparison to previous loan rates. Now is the time to take advantage of this uncommon phenomenon. We will look back at this period as a golden opportunity to buy or sell. Homeowners planning to sell should call us at 244-0821. We will be happy to come out and do a comparative market analysis at your convenience. Call Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company, 244-0821. That's 244-0821.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number.
Call 877-319-MY-TV.
The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So cancel the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money.
Call 877-319-MY-TV.
At just $24.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card.
Call 877-319-MY-TV. That's 877-319-MY-TV.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080.
8:17 in the AM. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. 20th day of November, a week away from Thanksgiving. Our telephone number, 569-1080. 569-1080. We're also streaming video and audio. danfagan.us. Check it out. It's an impressive deal. Impressive production. If you want to hear the show or watch the show at any point during the day, we archive all of our shows video-wise. Go to danfagan.us and watch as much of the show or any show that we've done as you would like. I kind of want to run it because, we talked about some mushy stuff, which we don't do much here anymore, but we got a little mushy yesterday, and Bonnie said after the segment, she said, I wish Glenn was here because he's always so good on that stuff. So,
oh, yes.
On mushy stuff?
Yeah, this is the early part of the broadcast.
Deep Thoughts by Glenn.
Uh-oh.
So I want to run this by you. He heard a little bit of it, but I'm going to give you a condensed version. This is what I'm thinking about. A couple of keys to life. One, whatever it is you fear, whatever it is you're insecure about, if there's value to it, run to it. I'm not talking about if you're afraid to jump out of an airplane, go jump out of an airplane.
Or afraid of snakes.
Afraid of snakes. But like with Bonnie, she was afraid when we first approached her about being on the show. She was afraid. She didn't feel like she could cut it. But she ran to it. She's here, now she's comfortable. That kind of thing. That's one of the keys to life. Anybody who's accomplished anything in life has had to do that at one point.
Okay, one of the keys to a good life. I have some thoughts on it.
And it's a key to a life of excellence, a life of influence, a life that people will take notice of.
Yeah.
Second key is avoid the comfortable. Avoid the same path because it's familiar. And the visual I had was if you're walking down and there's 15 feet of snow or 10 feet of snow, or let's say 5 feet of snow to be more practical, and you're always taking the path that you walk on every day, well, it'll be an easier path. At one point, stop and start plowing through the 5 feet. It'll be a lot more difficult. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be a pain in the butt. But if you want different results than the results you've been getting for years, you're going to have to take another path. And just because that path is comfortable, you got to abandon it. So have the courage to take another path, do things differently, believe things differently, even though it's not comfortable. So those two keys, in my opinion, are going to cause you to be very successful, very fulfilled, and your life will be one of great consequence.
Well, let's start with fear. If you give in to your fear, you can't be a powerful person.
Very true. John Boehner.
And frankly, I think this plays out most commonly between men and women when they first meet. And that if the first thing a woman senses about a man is that they're fearful.
I think you just said a women.
A women.
It's woman.
A woman. Yeah. Thank you, Dan.
Focus on the content.
Yeah. But women know that they're terrifying to men, and that going and approaching them for a normal man. By the way, if a man is very comfortable approaching you in any scenario where he's asking for, your number or whatever, you're already in danger. But for most normal men, being fearful of that process is something that they have to overcome. Women expect that, and it's an indication that this is a person who is powerful. They have courage.
Yeah.
And if you don't have courage, frankly, you're not of much use to anybody.
Very true.
And I just think that that's one of the most important things to learn. What do they say in the military? It isn't the person who feels no fear. Fear is necessary to have courage.
Part of life.
Yeah. So that was the first thing. Run to it. Run to your fears. You have to overpower them. They cannot control you. They cannot define your life, and they cannot define you, because if they do define you, you're not going to be of any use to anybody.
When I say run to them, I mean target them. It's not so much the speed, but it's okay, there's a fear. I'm going after that.
Well, and like you said, meet it head on.
Yeah.
It might be coming at you.
And every man has to do this when they're going to pick their spouse, when they're going to, you have to not only address the fear, you actually have to master it, and you have to go and project confidence. That's critical for men to be able to do that with a women. I'm going to call them a women.
Plural versus singular.
Actually, I don't. I'm going to call them women's. I'm going to go with women's. Is that okay?
Those women are so...
The brothers back south, they call a woman's breasts.
Oh my goodness! It's more than just my husband.
Oh, does he say that?
Yes, he's from Arkansas.
Like, all my brother friends, they be like, "Man, you see the breasts on that woman?" I say, it's breast. No, man, it's breasts.
Oh wow!
And they
I thought that was just my
you.
husband.
Yeah.
Do they also call a hat on the head a toboggan?
No.
Okay, well then that's just him. I'm like, that's a sled. Go
avoiding
ahead.
the comfortable.
Is he from Canada?
Here's the one thing that I hope people realize: if everybody else is able to do what you want to do, in other words, it's pretty easy. You're not going to really make that much of a difference. This world is dependent on a certain percentage of people deciding to do something different, like the guy who developed Uber, or like any person who really runs for office. People who get involved, people who care. The path that's well trodden, it's not that you're on the path, it's that you and Joe and Frank and Fred and Jane and Sally, everybody's on that path, because the path is easy. The path is, I get up every day, I have a bowl of cereal, I go off to work, and I come on home. This world is dependent on some percentage of people saying, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
And not everybody, but I think it's critical for the world to have at least some people who do that. If you feel in and of yourself, and a person who lives a full life, a good life, will never trod somebody else's path. We're not made that way.
Yeah. You're right.
He's deep, very deep. He always has more to say.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I want to go back to the fear thing and pull it out of the realm of the romantic and the getting women and because I do believe it's my understanding of men and women is that the woman is to be pursued, the man is to pursue. So, that doesn't really even apply to women, because women, they should just literally wait for a guy who's willing to pursue them. And it does take great courage for a man to pursue a woman, and it is possible because she has free will. Those greatest fears you have may be realized. She just may not be into you, and you're going to have to deal with that pain. But I'm thinking about, on a larger scale, just any kind of public speaking, being a salesperson, trying something that you really wanted to do, but you didn't think you could do because you don't think you're smart enough or you don't think you're creative enough. I used to think, I never in a million years thought I would be a good writer. And I never even tried until I was in my 30s. And I I'm going to go for this. And man, all of a sudden I realized, I'm actually pretty good at this. And I wanted to do it so bad my whole life. And I think that's a big indication. Things that you have strong desires for is typically an indication that you actually probably have the gift to do that. But that kind of fear, so many people rob themselves of the great desires of their heart because they've convinced themselves that they can't do it. They're not creative enough. They're not smart enough.
You cannot believe how many times I have heard from other women, oh, I would love to homeschool my kids, but I could never do it.
Exactly. And they have that intense desire to do it.
Yes, and it would really benefit their children a lot of times.
And what they mean is not that they could never do it, but they would never do it because they're afraid.
Right.
Yes, that they would fail.
Right, right. And then that would affect their children too.
Or that they're not willing to make the sacrifices that homeschooling takes, because sacrifice in life is critical.
That's different, though. That's different than being afraid.
No, there are actually women who don't really want to do it, and they'll say that. But then there are a great deal of my friends who say, I would really love to do that. I think it would be better for my children, but I could never do it. I'm not smart enough. I don't know enough.
And, there's going to come a time for all of us when we're in our 70s and 80s, whatever age it is we end up, checking out. But we're going to look back and we're going to go, wow, I wish I wasn't so afraid. I wish I'd have tried more. I wish I would have risked more. The lack of risk in life is such a tragedy. The more anything of any value that I've ever done in my life involved incredible risk. And many of those things failed.
Sacrifice too.
Sacrifice and risk. The sacrifice is the part of it too.
Yep.
And many of those things that I risked just failed, and it was embarrassing. But the things that I've tried and they've succeeded. It's just you can't measure them. It was just risk pays dividends, huge dividends.
Well, and you got to ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Really, there's a lot of times where I've had people say, oh, well, what made you do this or that? And I'm like, well, what's the worst that could have happened? Right. Even asking questions, what's the worst they can say? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Well, I love when people face their fears. I know people don't do it very often. Most people, they're watching TV 4.5 or 5 hours a day.
That's right.
Let's just be honest.
It's just comfortable.
The person who's watching TV 4.5 or 5 hours a day is not really living a full life. I know you laugh a little bit because, they're very clever the way they write these things, but honestly, that's not life. So, yeah, I like... I like both of those as sort of guiding principles, and it is to lead a life of excellence. If you want to be anything other than average, most average people, they're not going to face a fear. They face a couple of them in life and sort of get through them, and then they live their life like that, and then they live comfortable, and that's really all they look for.
And not just a life of excellence, but a life that impacts others for the positive. That people will say, man, if I didn't know Glen Biegel, I can't imagine where my life would be. That's what you're striving for.
Yeah.
569-1080, 569-1080. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, broadcasting on KOAN, KVNT. Is little Tommy Anderson going to call?
I haven't heard from him.
Did you text him?
I did.
I mean, we kissed up to him so bad the last time he called. Why would he not call every day?
Well, he's very safe. Maybe he wants to keep his eyes on the road or something. I don't know.
8:29. Stay with us.
As the Alaska Public Office Commission's request for records amount to harassment. The office said it needed those records to determine whether Green's Alaska Cannabis Club should be subject to campaign finance and disclosure rules. You may remember Green from when she famously said, "Bleep it, I quit," during her live TV report on marijuana, then went on to become a full-time advocate for legalization of pot, which was approved by voters on November 4th.
Finally, the Nextdoor app for neighborhoods is offering residents of Government Hill a way to keep track of bear sightings in the area. Biologists explain bears were out late this year due to unseasonable warmth, although most of them have entered hibernation within the last few weeks. That's your Hot Talk News update. Local weather is next.
Sun and some clouds today with a high 36. Then tonight, patchy clouds, low 25. Partial sunshine tomorrow with a high 33 and a low tomorrow night of 22. Saturday, partly sunny with a high 33. Then on Sunday, clouds and sunshine throughout the day with a high 31. Monday becoming mostly cloudy, high 32. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Local news, weather, and the Dan Fagan Glen Biegel Show on Hot Talk. KOAN. Brought to you by Connect Country Liquor. With 4 convenient locations in the Valley and Talkeetna, you won't find a better selection.
Or at visitingangels.com.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
We can't put the brakes on aging, but we can have an impact on how well we age by what we eat. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN's chief medical correspondent. You've heard it before, but eating plenty of fruits and vegetables is a great place to start. They contain antioxidants that can help slow down the aging process by slowing down some of the damage occurring to your body. Whole grains are another good option. Unlike foods made with white flour, whole grains contain natural chemicals that can help fight disease, potentially decreasing the risk for diabetes, heart disease, and some cancers. Another age-fighting food is fatty fish, like salmon. It contains omega-3s, which help protect against heart attacks and stroke. Dark chocolate contains antioxidants that are good for the heart, and that can reduce the risk of blood clots. But a word of caution, though. Obviously, you want to eat that in moderation, and make sure you find chocolate that has at least 70% cocoa. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or owe the IRS or state more than $10,000? If you don't take action now, your tax problem is going to get worse, much worse. Seizure of property, bank levies, wage garnishments, and potential criminal prosecution. And if you owe the IRS back payroll taxes, chances are you will be visited at your home or business by an IRS agent. Don't become paralyzed by fear. Take action now. Call the experts at U.S. Tax Shield for help. Our team of experienced tax attorneys can get you protected, stop collections, and negotiate a permanent settlement with the IRS and state, potentially saving you thousands of dollars. At U.S. Tax Shield, our tax advisors will review your case for free, inform you of your rights, and give you a guaranteed quote. No games and no tricky upsells. That's why we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. Put an end to your torment. Get protected. Get the Shield. Call U.S. Tax Shield now at 800-299-1855. That's 800-299-1855. 800-299-1855.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Glen Biegel, you have beautiful teeth.
Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years.
I get scared at the dentist.
Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist for Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
Welcome back. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, KOAN, KVNT, streaming live video and audio on danfagan.us. Our number 569-1080. 569-1080. You know, I left the state for about a year and a half, and I came back in June of this year. So this Amy Demboski? Somebody? Hello?
Amy Demboski?
Get the show here.
Brewski.
What is it?
I don't know, actually.
Brewski?
Dembrewski?
It just sounds
Demboski.
good.
I don't know anything about her. Bonnie says she hates her voice.
Oh my goodness! I cannot believe you went there.
What? You said
I did
that.
not say that. I said I'm. Oh no, Amy! I really, really like you. I was so afraid he was going to go there. I mentioned that I'm worried people will not pay attention to her content because I thought when I first met her she had a cold. Oh dear.
Well, that's a reference to her voice.
I don't have the best voice either, and I'm sure people.
But that's a reference to her voice.
Okay, I said something about her voice, but her content is so
Glenn's mad at
good.
me.
What she has
people
to
listen
say
to our
is
message.
So
I mean,
good. Yes.
honestly, I hope the same thing. My voice has always bothered me. I can't even listen to it. I don't know
Got
how
a
anybody
great
listens
voice.
to me.
Glenn, you have the best voice of all of us.
Yeah, you have a great voice. Look, I'm just kidding about the voice. Don't get all hooked up
Okay,
about that.
people get over her voice and listen
I
to what
don't
she
know
has to say.
I don't know anything about her. She's obviously a newbie.
You know something about her because she's been in the paper a lot. She fought for Uber.
Yeah, no, I know. Okay,
She
but
fought against us having to register our old cars, which is a complete waste of taxpayer money.
let me amend that.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about her when I came, but now I like everything I've read about her.
Yeah.
She's perfect.
Total courage.
Exactly.
And I think I'm going to go to her campaign kickoff tonight.
But
In fact,
here's the thing.
I don't know if I'll be welcome.
Here's the thing. You know, as we
Why would you be welcome?
as we size up the mayoral's race, and I'll just give you some thoughts on the people that I know. So far, we got Hal Crow, right?
He's in?
Well, I've heard rumors.
Oh, well, let's just talk about what we know.
Well,
Dan.
but let's talk about he's floated as a guy.
Okay.
Not a big fan of Hal Crow.
No.
Treadwell, yeah, I think he'd probably be a good mayor. Dan Coffey, not a big fan of Mr. Coffey.
Yeah.
I think he's too tied into the system. He's a lobbyist. He's fought Uber. He's worked for the cab drivers. I just don't like that kind of stuff. You know, I don't know who else is.
He's done some
Hollis
good
French.
things, by the way. I mean, he rewrote Title 21.
Yeah.
That's who Dan Sullivan,
Okay.
Mayor Dan Sullivan,
We'll give him
tasked
credit
with
for that.
rewriting Title 21, which he did a very, very good job on.
Okay.
I didn't think he was as conservative as me on the Assembly, but I always thought that, you know, he still was certainly qualified to be on the Assembly, and I didn't think
Yeah.
he was a bad vote. Not a union vote, you know, and to me, for city politics, the unions want to run stuff, and
So-
I'm looking for a mayor who doesn't want to let the unions run stuff, and so that's
So
kind
is Coffey the front runner at this point, do we think?
I think in the absence of anybody else getting in, how could he not be?
Well, my point is I want a conservative. I want another Dan Sullivan.
There's only one Dan
Dombrowski-
Sullivan. We've never seen anything like Dan Sullivan in our whole lives.
But a conservative. Amy Dembrowski.
Dembowski.
Well, see, now I asked you guys 5
Amy
times.
Demboski.
Amy Demboski with the voice of Bonnie Hates.
Oh.
I think she's probably the best candidate from what I know about her, even though I just...
Well,
feel like
isn't she the first candidate? She's the only one that's come out to say she's going to run for mayor, right?
Even though I just heard about her, you know, just a couple months ago. But if she's not strong enough as a candidate, I don't want her to cross out other conservatives and, you know, that's...
Well, you've got to
Oh,
get
here we go again.
45% of the vote. This is the way our municipal elections work, is you have to get 45% of the vote.
To avoid a runoff.
To avoid a runoff.
Yeah.
And so a whole bunch of people running essentially makes it like a primary because it's very unlikely anybody will get 45% of the vote.
Right.
And so
the best candidate will eventually get into
I
it.
think so. I think there'll be somebody on the left and somebody on the right is essentially the way that it works out.
Right.
And, because you'll have some very, very strong candidates on the left. And
Yeah.
I do expect Hollis French to be, because he wants to be governor, and now he sees his path with Malott.
So he's the most likely Democrat to take.
Oh, I know Pat Flynn wants to be in it. He's been in government for a long period of time, and he loves it. He loves the back and forth of government and the power of government.
She's waiting to say something that's
Do you see what you already are doing? You're discounting her because she might not be the strongest, even though she might have the best ideas of anybody. You're already discounting her because there might be somebody with more name recognition out there, and she might upset the status quo.
That's rich from someone who just said her voice is horrible.
No, I did not say that.
Well, Bonnie, Dan disagrees with you and I on this. And that is, I think in some races, Senate races and things like that, sometimes you can overcome media and sometimes you can't. I think that Dan doesn't trust that the election process will allow somebody who doesn't have enough experience or enough exposure or enough foundation to be able to overcome the media and the impediments to a real conservative getting elected to office. Now, I think you and I, over this process, will probably disagree with that, and we will hope that as she blossoms as a candidate, as she's given her chance to speak, and she says things that people like, that she will have a great chance. But you also have to come and understand, a lot of people do consider how long you've been a member of the political class and how many associations you have and all those kinds of things is critically important to you having a base of support so that you can get elected. So I'm willing to let things play out. I think it's going to be a very difficult uphill climb, and that I don't think we should discount anybody.
I like that she's saying things that people don't like.
No, I'm not calling for the end of I'm not saying anybody should be disqualified for running, and frankly, I don't think it's the media. I'm just, if we have really strong conservatives and they're canceling everybody out, we're never getting conservative. That's my point. I wish they'd kind of get together, but I suppose with this setup, with the 45%, so let's say Hollis French gets 42% because he's the only leftist, and then Dombrowski and let's say another conservative jumps in, like a Glen Biegel, and they get.
My wife just defriended you, by the way.
39% and 38%. Then when you get to the head-to-head,
yes,
there'll be one conservative against. So there's hope for that. I don't know. What is Miss Dombrowski or
There's no R.
Dombrowski?
Yes, Dombrowski is what I thought.
Dombrowski. What has she done like for a living? Has she got a job or is she?
She is a CPA. She's got a master's degree in something or other. So
she's largely been in the private sector, which is great.
Okay, I agree. So she has some work experience.
She got work experience, and now she's got some legislative experience. I frankly think she's done more in I think 2 or 3 years that she's been in the Assembly than most people do their career.
Yeah.
So she certainly has put herself in harm's way.
Well, how come I can't get her on here? I asked her a couple times to come on. She won't come on.
Well, maybe I should ask. I don't know that she'll say anything to me now.
Yeah, she did come in once when you weren't here, and I don't know about Glenn and Bonnie, but I was impressed,
Who invited her on?
I think she just showed up. I'm not sure.
Seriously?
I don't know. I thought
you invited her.
I thought it was you.
I thought you invited her, but if you didn't, then I did.
Maybe I did.
Somebody scheduled her because she came in.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on an issue that was before the Assembly.
Oh, you know what it was?
It was AO37, wasn't it?
One of her people contacted me.
Oh.
She already has people?
She had
That's
someone.
great.
Sweet.
Yeah, she did a really good job when she was in here. I was impressed.
Well, I think it would be good to have a good conservative female mayor in Anchorage. Wouldn't that be good? Because if she is successful, and if she's even half the governor or the mayor Dan Sullivan was, she'll be an instant rising star in the state. And the fact that she's a female, she could also end up being our first female governor, which I would love. If you're a conservative, I don't care what your gender is.
You mean mayor, right?
No.
Second female governor?
Yeah, because we've had a female governor.
Oh, well, not really. That was like a part-time.
Oh!
844.
Ow.
844.
Don't just sit there. Give them a call. 569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
Trail Boss Solutions is your local award-winning, nationally recognized construction and remodel firm. From handyman services to kitchen design and remodel to custom home construction, Trail Boss Solutions has the experienced professionals to take your project from initial design through completion, on time and on budget. Trail Boss Solutions is the only call for all your construction, design, and remodel needs. Please visit us on the web at trailboss-solutions.com or contact Trail Boss Solutions direct at 646-1403.
You know, Alaska is truly the land of fabulous seafood. And of all the great shellfish this place has to offer, nothing is better than big, meaty king crab. And what a special Noosa City Market have for you right now. Large golden king crab clusters, this season's catch, legs and claws only, just the good stuff, reduced this week to just $16.95 a pound. That's about as good as it gets. Also in the seafood department, extra large white mandarin shrimp, the very shrimp so highly prized by the Chinese emperors. Just $9.99 a pound, get a couple pounds and eat like a Chinese emperor. In the produce business, you get different grades of produce representing different qualities of product. The highest grade is called Japanese export quality. And this week, Noosa and City Market have large, beautiful Japanese export quality Honey Crisp apples, only $2.29 a pound. For my money, the best bargain in fruit available this time of year. Oh, there are lots of specials this week at Noosa Midtown and City Market 13th and I.
There's a lot of so-called experts out there claiming to have the key to success in business for a price. Are you ready for real business advice you can trust without a fee? Then don't miss Getting Down to Business with David Weatherholt. Advice from people in the know. Technology, finance, taxes, and more. Business people helping business people take their skills and services to the next level. Getting Down to Business with David Weatherholt. Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. on Hot Talk, KOAN, 95.1 FM and 1080 a.m.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give them a call, 569-1080.
13 minutes ahead of 9 o'clock on this Thursday morning. Good morning to you, Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. Our number 569-1080. We're on KOAN, KVNT, also streaming live video and audio on danfagan.us. Let's go to Tom. Tom, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I am just doing great. It's a beautiful day here in Spenard. Sun's up.
Warm.
Yeah, warm. The flowers are blooming. Spenard's always, the better part of Anchorage. But Amy Dembowski, I'm impressed.
Running for mayor,
and usually when people get elected to the assembly or to the legislature, they immediately go from being the candidate to being part of them.
Yes.
And they join the establishment, and
they're looking for higher office, Tom.
And they're looking for higher office. Except Amy really doesn't seem to have joined the club.
She's never run before.
Well, she's never run except for the assembly.
That's right. She's on the assembly.
She's on the assembly, but she's bringing things before the assembly that people that are in the club just don't do. And she argues in such a way that people in the club just don't argue.
You have any thought on her voice?
Dan, we all have a voice. And
that's right.
And some of us are trained like you are, but you've been on the air for so many years, you just come across with these melodious tones, but some of us just don't have that. So I'm not going to hold that against her.
Well, I'm not either. It's Bonnie the one that's the problem.
I am never going to live this down.
But you bring up Hollis French. And I've been following the Anchorage Assembly since the 70s. Go to a lot of the meetings. Am active in Anchorage politics, and I've never seen Hollis French. He has been in the legislature, but he's never been active on the municipal level, and I doubt if he knows where City Hall is.
Would he beat out Patrick Flynn?
No, I don't think so.
Flynn would be a stronger candidate than
really
French on the left.
Well, that surprises me, just because of Flynn's tie to local politics, not because Hollis French is the most recognizable left winger in the state.
Well, look at what he, how many votes he got statewide. Not very many.
Yeah,
and he's never been that popular in his district.
What about Wielkowski?
the same way. I don't think he knows where City Hall is.
Okay, so would you say on the left, Flynn would be the front runner?
Flynn, I would think, would be the front runner. And, the thing that worries me about Flynn is he's probably one of the most liberal people that's ever been on the Anchorage Assembly.
No doubt.
And
but he doesn't come off that way.
No, they never do.
He
never do.
He is able to hide his true self very well.
Yeah.
And, and you remember Heather Flynn when she was on the Assembly.
His mother.
Back in the 80s.
Right.
She was considered very liberal. I think Patrick Flynn is probably much more liberal than his mother.
So let's shape up the field here. So you got, is Halcrow going to run?
I don't think so. If you haven't announced by now and set a couple of fundraisers, of course, Halcrow's got more money than God, so maybe that doesn't matter to him. Maybe he'll use his own money. But, if you haven't jumped in a little bit by now and tested the water.
So Coffee and Amby are the two that will be on the right?
I would think so. Well, Andrew wouldn't be on the right.
No, I know. Well, I know.
I mean, come on. Him and Flynn would, I think, take votes from each other.
Absolutely. So how would that all? Let's say it's Amy Dembowski, Patrick Flynn. Let's say Hollis French is jumping in there, and then Dan Coffey. How would that shake out in a four-way?
If both Hollis and Flynn run, I think that there would probably be a runoff.
Between who in the end?
Probably between Flynn and Dembowski or Flynn and Coffey, one of the
So you
three.
think Dembowski might beat out Coffey on the right?
People are kind of tired of the good old boys, and even
About
though I've been supporting Coffey because nobody else was running.
Yeah.
But boy, I'm excited by a newcomer that has brought up subjects on the Anchorage Assembly that haven't been brought up since Cheryl Clemenson was on the Assembly.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of years, or quite a few years. So I'm going to go to our fundraiser tonight. I'm going to listen to what's being said. I want to see
Where is
our
our
core group
fundraiser?
is. It's at the Crown Plaza Hotel at International and Sea.
Okay.
And it seems like a lot of the political astute people from Eagle River are gathering around her. And
Bonnie said she's going to go to our fundraiser tonight. Bonnie, are you going to apologize for the disparaging remarks you made about her voice tonight? When you see her?
Absolutely.
well, and I hope to meet Bonnie because I've been listening to her on the radio, and it's kind of neat to put a name with a face.
She's about 5'3", weighs about 430 pounds.
Yeah, we need to get Tom on the video.
Yeah, you can go on YouTube and watch me right now.
I've tried to bring that up, but my computer's old, and
we were thinking of putting an eye-rolling
how to do it.
an eye-rolling instruction video about Bonnie.
Okay.
Could have a daily one.
No, it's true though, Tom. I was thinking the same thing. We have these callers, and I would love to put the face to the name a lot of times. And
and everybody knows Glenn.
Do they?
And everybody's met Glenn and his 18 kids.
Yeah.
And Dan has been around for a long time. So, we've seen him in every restaurant in town at one time or another.
Tom McGrath, he's about 4'8", completely bald, and wears
Okay.
So you'll recognize him.
So I look forward to seeing all three of you there at the fundraiser. I think Dan could probably write the biggest check from what I understand.
Tom, we appreciate your call.
Have a good day. Take
Thank
care.
you. 569-1080, 569-1080.
Oh, the one thing I did want to clarify there, when I say that people get into an office and they start looking for higher office, this is what I mean specifically. Most people don't think of doing anything with the office that they've been given by the public.
They want to just get to the next level.
They sit in that seat and they listen to the people like Trainee and like L.B. Gray Jackson.
Is Trainee running? Do we leave him out?
He may be running. I think he is running. But these are the guys who really direct the left on the assembly. And you don't actually have to think at all. You just go in and you watch, and the left votes as a block essentially all the time. What I mean by Amy not looking for higher office when obviously she's running for higher office, but she did what she thought she could do when she was an assembly member. She passed laws that she thought were good for the city. She tried to hold the budgets down. She tried to make good public policy. That's not actually normal. Most people sit there for the first couple of years, as they told her to do, and shut up and listen and try and just be nice They told her that. They said, I don't remember who it was who came up to her, but said, I didn't even speak for the first year I was on the assembly. So, if you don't feel comfortable, interacting with things and want to just hang back, that's okay.
Well,
He's like, forget that.
I heard something from her that you rarely hear from a politician. The first couple sentences were, I believe that government is here for essential services only. Oh. And so anything outside of that is questionable.
Well, obviously I've never met her. I don't even know what she looks like. I don't know anything about her. Okay, there you go.
Now we know what she looks like.
Only thing I know is, according to Bonnie, she's got a horrible voice.
Oh, stop.
But she sounds like a dream candidate.
She has nice hair.
Does she? So she sounds like a dream candidate. I hope she is all that you say that she is, and if she is, I don't really be honest with you. If she wasn't running, and it was just Coffee, no offense, Mr. Coffee, but I'm not a big fan of his. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad somebody who's a genuine conservative. I can't imagine, from what you're telling me about Amy Dembowski or whatever her name is, that she would align herself with the coffee or the cab driver permit holders and try to thwart the free market.
She was one of the sponsors of allowing Uber to operate in Anchorage.
Right. So basically, Coffee and Ivan Moore aligned themselves to thwart the free market, and that Dan Sullivan would never do that, the mayor. So to me, that's a big thing, and we'll see. We'll see.
I think she's been the most outspoken of any of the assembly members.
Here's the deal: after you apologize for disparaging her voice tonight, get her on the show tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
I will.
Sounds like a plan. Very good plan.
I'm so sorry.
You shouldn't speak bad about people like that.
No.
By the way, go ahead.
I was just saying that I hope other people don't. I think of.
Don't explain. It doesn't do any good. You just let it go.
Well, it's kind of like when Sarah Palin when she was first getting on Fox News. Yeah. I was just like,
You're
please
just making
don't
it
say
worse.
anything
This
wrong.
is exactly what he was looking for. This is just what he hoped for. This is just where he was going the whole time. Here's a bigger shovel. No, it's actually, if you just keep explaining, it will get so much better.
Oh, that's funny. Glenn has me figured out. He's had me figured out for years.
I was just about to friend her on Facebook too, and now she's gonna ignore my request.
Yep. Defriended.
Before I was even friended.
Man,
I wanted to say this about. I went to the Resource Development Council, and Walker's going to speak there in about 45 minutes. By the way,
I'm going. I'm going. You going over there?
Yeah. No, I'm definitely. I want to hear what he says. He's not going to say anything that's going to light anybody's hair on fire or anything like that. Whatever decisions he's made, he's already made long ago. Or
where is it?
Denina, 3rd floor. Okay. It's really hard to park there. By the way, that's the most miserable part of the whole thing. Ugh. Terrible. Anyway, but one thing I did want to highlight is Parnell probably gave the best speech that I've ever heard him give as his sort of swan song at Resource Development Council.
Yeah. No, he's a good man.
Yeah.
He really is.
And he's done good things.
He's done great things.
I mean, people are going to be mad at him for the guard difficulties. I think those were probably a little bit harder to address than most people are thinking.
Alice Rogoff and Tony Hoffinger and Richard Maurer and Jill Burke and all those guys over there need to go to Sean Parnell and look him in the eye and say, we're sorry. We're intentionally trying to tear you down in an unjustifiable manner. That's my opinion. All right, well, we'll report to you what Walker says tomorrow on the show, and hopefully Amy Dembowski, if her and Bonnie can make up, we'll see if she'll come on the show tomorrow. Have a great Thursday, folks. See you then.